Sitting around the ballroom, they're talking about tomorrow when they're taking Johnny away. Said he wasn't no good, never done the things that he should. That's all the judge had to say. He went in the army when he was 18. Crazy young Irish and mean. Took a kid who was half gone all the way to be wrong with bloodlust and them 16s.
All right, Danny, we're back. What's up?
What's up, buddy?
We got a special guest, third chair, first appearance.
The Den is in the house.
Walden's best.
Wait a minute. What was the intro, first of all? Wait, hold on a second. I was court ordered to be here, first of all. I entered Melrose. They're like, somebody from the 02148. Oh, are we not allowed to tell who we are?
Yeah, of course we are. That's all I do on here.
Everybody knows.
That's right. I feel safe.
Yeah,
I
you're
feel
good.
safe.
Yeah.
You know, I was listening to the intro. This is the first time on the Den.
From the Den.
Oh, no, that's what you said. You said special guest. And in my head, I'm like, yep, I'm special. And then I forgot because pot is legal, and I forget shit all the time. But what number episode is this? I'm into numbers. What number am I?
64.
64 is a 10.
Yeah, you're right.
6 and 4 is a 10.
10.
I love it. All right, cool.
Yeah.
So
This
if
guy-
I do the casino tonight, I'm going, number 10, I was just in Vegas. It was kicking butt. Number 10 kicked ass. Number 15 kicked ass. If I played 10 and 15 in a spin, then whatever numbers I had, I'd win. I don't know. So I'm glad I'm number 10. All right, cool.
So if you
64.
haven't noticed by now, Malden's own stand-up comedian, Dave Russo.
That's right.
Hello, how are you?
Thank you,
Scally
sir.
Cap has his own Scally Cap.
Yeah, you know what? Start a little classic Scally company. We'll talk about. Actually, in July we have we had a reorder of the Anthem hat that we had, the Bruins colors, the Causeway, which is a light gray one, and the Rockport.
Nice.
And then we got some other ones coming. Someone invested in. I haven't even told anybody about that yet. So we're
beautiful.
gonna have more hats coming.
Yeah.
Awesome.
You know.
Yeah,
And you have your own wine.
Now, the wine thing is interesting. In January of 2018, we launched a Malbec wine from my taste buds. And it was just a wine that I loved when I was doing cruise ships. I gave it to my cousin, who is a winemaker. Made it. We launched it January of 2018. It sold out in 6 days. And now it's one of the top sellers up there. So it's kind of like my pandemic relief fund. So you guys are younger, but there used to be like I don't know if it was Mondavi or there was some guy, wine guy. I feel like the wine guy because like I have my own
I know
wine.
who you're talking about. Ernest
Way
Gallo?
back, Ernest Gallo. I'm Davey J. Russo. And it's Falcino Vineyard, a taste of Italy, 1 hour north of Boston, next to Nashua in Hollis. And I tell you what, it is Disney World for adults. Alan Susan Falcino. It's just they have a vision, like in the winter, they have igloos out there. And it's like, and fires. And it's like, if you're on a date, you know, you're with your wife, your significant other, and you go up there, and you're outdoors in the wilderness, having wine, smelling a fire in an igloo, you know you're getting laid that night. You know what I mean? It's like, you can't not be a champion.
I got to interject because we got a guy who listens to the show religiously. He actually has a track going on how many times me and Danny have said fuck. He watched
He
out two baseball
literally
clippers.
has two clickers like umpires.
Why, did I say the F word?
No,
Oh, you
I'm
can't
gonna
fuck
stop,
shit. You can do it all the time.
But here's the thing: I leaked on. We have a Patreon for like the real hardcore fans. And,
Love it.
I asked, "Hey, anybody got any questions? We're gonna have Dave Russo on." He wrote, "I say this is Fontana. I saw Dave at a wine vineyard in New Hampshire. I'm assuming this is the vineyard.
Falcino Vineyard, the only one.
It was one of the first outings since COVID happened. I think that people worked there told him to put his mask on 100 times because it was so fucking funny." He didn't mean to have it off, but he said, I also asked him about getting involved in comedy. He gave me great advice. Just let him know I haven't acted on any of it. I'm still a loser.
Well, you know, thank you for taking my advice. I probably said, don't get into it. Don't get into it. No. What was the name?
Andrew Fontana.
Andrew Fontana.
Another Malden kid.
Okay, you know what? I vaguely remember the name. Actually,
I think
sounds
they
a little
grew.
bit
I think
familiar.
they grew up near. I could be wrong.
Well, 'cause I did radio with last name was a fun. But with that being said, if you still want to do the comedy, doesn't mean just because you haven't been on stage doesn't mean you're not a comedian. Just keep writing. And you know what? I always try my jokes when I'm in line at Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah.
And I go, that'll work. You know, just in casual conversation, if you may, I got to keep that one in.
Right.
And so don't give up. Don't give up. And come back to Falcino Vineyard.
Let me also break in for this because I also always claimed that like the one thing that I was wicked natural at, but like it was like time passed me by because when it got popular, I was like 8, and then it was gone by the time I was 9. Was breakdancing, right?
Oh.
Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Not only-
Let me just say this.
Oh, you already
Okay.
know
I'm a
this.
fucking fraud. Okay, because I watched this motherfucker's been in Dunkin' Donuts commercials, correct? Nabisco.
Yeah, a bunch of these. Yeah,
If you
back
go
in the
on
good
your
old days.
YouTube channel, there's video of you. Now, just like I am in basketball, right? The reason I couldn't start basketball is I'm too slow. I could shoot, I could dribble, I could pass, right? I could pop, I could lock, I could move around the floor. Great. I'll tell you what I couldn't do. This motherfucker's on his shoulders. It looks like he's gonna come off the ground in the
Okay.
video I saw.
You know,
And by the way, that was a recent video from the Kowloon.
that Kowloon video was about 2013 or 14, 2012, if you're talking about the Merry Christmas one.
yeah.
But there is one from me from when I was 15 years
I
old.
seen that. Chris Rogers posted it.
I saw
Chris
that one
Rogers
too.
posted. So that one right there, and this is what I'm to tell the story. I'm kind of embarrassed of that one. I'll tell you why. I came out of retirement for that one. I had retired from breakdancing a year before that. Chris Ivory, Ellen Pompeo's husband from Grey's Anatomy, was doing rapping. He was a junior, and I was a sophomore there. And I'd gained 20 pounds. When I was a freshman, I was 79 years old. I could do windmills into head
Flares.
spins, into flares. I could unzip. I could take my jacket off and my sneakers off when I was spinning on my head.
Shut the
so
fuck
the year before, when I was a freshman, my team actually won stars of the show. Craig Rose, Kelly Russell, Dan Delato. I think, and I was 79 pounds, and I remember doing 20 flares and taking off my jacket, and then a year later they said, can you come out of retirement and do it? And I did that for one night, and that's the one they caught on videotape. So I'm fucking depressed because that one I'm like, I was 94 pounds on that one, but the one before when I was 79 pounds. That's where I don't know. Anyways, it's I'm grateful that video's out there, but it's from so long ago. And then I see the kids now doing it, and you said you're a fraud. Now I think I'm a fucking fraud. These kids are doing. When I stopped doing,
it's crazy.
When I stopped doing, there was a move called the 99, and it was like flares and doing windmill, and you go into windmill and then over the shoulder, over the shoulder, over the shoulder, over the shoulder. It was like it was a level 3 windmill, I guess you would say. You had a flare and then a high windmill and then a super high windmill. And now the kids, I'm kind of embarrassed, so I just have to live off to my old stuff. I was the king. I was the king of the head spin.
Yeah, but back then it was like
That's what I'm saying.
as
Oh,
good
no,
as it
oh,
got.
they-
By the way, no. Back then, I was, a friend of mine, and his name is, and I want to say his name because he's a phenomenal tap dancer. Wyatt Jackson out of Roxbury, Massachusetts, is actually the gentleman who discovered me, who got me in all those commercials. He's like a 5'11" or 6'11" professional tap dancer. And very intimidating, but a huge smile. And he's the one. He said, he goes, man, you back in the day, you were a phenom. And then fucking breakdancing ended. And I'll tell you what. But this is a cool story. So breakdancing ends. And so my popularity, when you're like, I was just a little
that's
cute
the
little
same
kid.
way.
I was popular back then. I was
Yeah.
like, and I hadn't gone through puberty, and girls wanted to be with me. And I'm
Yeah.
like, you can't have me. Sorry, I was too embarrassed. And then like in '80s, and then when I was a sophomore, I remember Mr. Zimmerman, Coach Zimmerman,
I had him.
said, he goes, what are you going to do now to be popular? That breakdance is over. And I was like, oh, shit. I never even thought about it. And then I ended up getting into wrestling. And then, and wrestling was very successful for me in high school. And I ended up wrestling his son a lot. So I used to tool on his son a lot, which was kind of good. So I got him back the same way you're going to do now. No, but I love Zim. Zim's great dude. Great,
But you ended up wrestling in college too, right?
I wrestled. You know what? I just started recently talking about this because it seems so long ago, but it doesn't. Man, I wrestled Division I in college. Our school was Wilkes University in northeastern Pennsylvania. Now, the reason why I started bringing it up is my coach, Coach John G. Reese, was the number 2 winningest Division I wrestling coach of all time, and he just passed away at 95 years old. And it's funny, like I wrestled under this guy, and he recruited me. And I was ranked top 20 in the United States of America at one point. And I got to be honest with you, I didn't really, like, back then I was in college. I was living like a college kid. I wasn't trying to wrestle. I was just keeping my scholarship. I was chasing skirts like we all were,
No shit.
Yeah, I'm still chasing.
And you said you were right before on air. You said you were Malden High's first state champion.
You know what? I'm proud to say I was Malden High School's first ever state wrestling champion. They had a wrestling program for 25 years. And the run that I had my senior year really should be a Disney movie. And I said not because it's me. It's just you can't make shit like this up. It happened. So when back then when you wrestled, you had a league tournament, then you had the sectional tournament, and then you had the state tournament. So the league tournament, I was ranked number 2, and I wrestled this kid from Brockton, and I beat him 13-4 pretty handily. And at the end of every tournament, the coaches of the tournament vote who got MVP of the tournament. It's called Outstanding Wrestler. So I got outstanding. I was ranked number 2, and you know in high school, if you're ranked number 2, you never beat the number 1 kid.
Yeah.
So I fucking beat him up pretty good, 13-4. And I got OW for that tournament. And then the following tournament was at Malden High School. First time ever in 25 years of wrestling, the sectional tournament was at Malden High School. And it was versus who I admire very much, who became a state champion the following way, Mr. Jim McSweeney from Melrose, Massachusetts, a legend. Now, Jim had beat me earlier in the season in Lowell, 14-13. I think I had a black eye. He won the tournament. I ended up coming in third. It was a 75-person tournament, toughest tournament. He wins it. That's my only loss all year. Now I have to wrestle him in the finals, and I'm gonna go quickly because there's more backstory where I broke a tooth, had to go to Dr. Anthony Capodalupo in Everett, fix my tooth. I ended up beating Jim in triple overtime back then.
Holy shit.
And it's funny, and I say it was back then, yeah, at 4-4 at regulation, and I actually saw the referee today, my friend Dominic. I was at unfortunately, I was at a wake.
Yeah.
Dominic Sato's girlfriend, but Dominic was the referee. And when I say the most honorable man, because he was the referee, he's a Malden High graduate, he was the referee at Malden High School. And at the end of regulation, I thought I got the point. And I remember him, and he said, "Nope, I'm not giving it to you. You got to fucking earn it." And that I learned from my friends in my inner circle of the wrestling program, that how honorable these people and men are. See, back in the day, there was always a thing like, oh, Malden got screwed because they knew the referee.
Yeah.
So basically, it was at our home court now. So instead of us screwing the other kids, we didn't want that. We just wanted to make sure I didn't get screwed.
Yeah.
So I didn't get that point. And I didn't deserve the point, and that's why he's an honorable man. I ended up winning 11-2 in triple overtime because I was so pissed off. I fucking killed me. I was like, what the fuck? Ah! Jumping up. They slapped me in the face. Dude, it was crazy. My coach slapped me in the face like in slow motion. Boom, boom, boom. John LaPresti.
I was about to say, this is
It was CJ.
Yeah, his son is like one of my best friends on earth.
Yeah.
And
His dad's a madman.
So basically, this is what happened. We go into overtime. I love telling the story. We go into overtime. So I'm in the corner. I'm like, I should have got that point. Why didn't you give me that point? And so CJ comes out of nowhere and slaps me in the face, like. I'm like, all right, stop breathing with your coffee breath. You're gross, like to him and Brian O'Boyle, the great coach. And then I ended up beating him there, and I got OW on that tournament as well. And then the following week was the state tournament. I ended up wrestling Jim again. So and I beat him pretty handily, 13-1 in the state finals, and I got OW there. But he, like I said, he won it the following year. That was my year, and he's a part. And like I say, I treat him like I told you. Me and him are like bird and magic, and because he made me better.
Yeah,
and I know I made him better.
Yeah.
So we love each other. You know what I mean? So it's like what do we say? Killers love killers.
That's right.
He was a killer, dude. He gave me a black eye. Remember, he beat me 14-13. I was like, this motherfucker from Melrose fucking beat me up. I'm from Malden. I'm like, this rich kid.
I mean, into wrestling people are is that like I was talking to a friend of ours. They're like, it's the brother-in-law is the head coach at UNC Chapel Hill, right?
Okay.
So it's like, but they're from the Midwest.
For
and
wrestling?
I'm like, yeah, for wrestling.
Okay.
And I'm like, he must be fucking amped. I'm like, UNC Chapel Hill, I've been there. Like, we went to look at it with my older sister. It's the most beautiful campus I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous. And you're in North
there.
Carolina, right? Yeah. I go, he must be pumped. He's like, he wants to be in like fucking Iowa. I'm like, because that's where the hotbed is. You know what I mean? Like, that's where the fucking real shit is.
There's a kid now. He doesn't live in Malden, but his dad is from Malden. His dad passed away, unfortunately. He's the #1 wrestler in Massachusetts, and he got a full ride to Stanford.
Well, hold on a second. His dad didn't pass away.
Yes, he did.
His uncle Louis.
Louis.
Let me share that story.
Sorry.
Can I share that story?
Yeah, please.
That story to me gives me chills of where I made a bad decision in life, where I was coaching. After I won these tournaments, I went to college. It was always John LaPresti always said, come back. So I came back till about 97. And then there was.
I think that was his dad.
No, it's all right. It's a great story. So this is. I'm gonna. Hopefully, I'll get you some chills on this one. This is a true story. February 14, 15, 1988, I won the state wrestling tournament. Got OW. That's 1988. February 14, 15.
Yep.
1988. Louis Vasquez, Cadillac Carabino, a couple of other guys, class of 92, probably the best wrestling team Malden High School ever had. Kerry Knox, who's Kerry Knox now. Kerry Vasquez was Louis' sister. Loved the fact, because her brother, good-looking kid, but loved the fact he was in a program, wrestling program, great team. Loved because they had the best team and they had the best friends. He did great at school. She loved it. and she vowed that, she was going to get her son into wrestling. She was like, somehow she was affected by it.
Yep.
And she got her son Tyler into wrestling. Now they ended up moving out of Malden, her and her husband moved out of Malden.
I think to Danvers.
To Danvers, and they went to school at St. John's Prep. So this kid Tyler, the first day of his freshman year in high school, Louis Vasquez, his uncle, the reason why he got into wrestling, unfortunately, is one of the first people to overdose on that horrible fucking fentanyl stuff. And the kid was Louis was doing great. It was just it was one of those accidental things. That's the first day of this kid's high school career. Fast forward at the end of 4 years, Tyler Knox wins the state wrestling tournament, February 14th and 15th, 34 years to the day that I won it. And Kerry said to me, she goes, Dave, he's never met you, but I always tell him, the reason why we got into wrestling, we used to watch Dave Russo. Dave Russo loved Louis. And, so for a minuscule little thing, I think I have a minuscule little effect, but it blows my mind that 34 years to the day he won the state wrestling tour and got OW. I
just got the chills.
Right? Yeah. But how about this? But you hit the nail on the head. He became a national champion, the #1 wrestler in the United States of America, and got a full scholarship. Has just received a full scholarship at Stanford University.
Holy shit.
Life-altering, life-changing.
Jesus.
And she couldn't. She can't be right. She can't be a sweeter woman. Kerry's always been
Kerry's
good
a sweetheart.
and gorgeous. Back in the day, everyone had a crush on her, but we knew Louis would kill us. No, but. And you know what? And I love the fact that because now I read her posts now because I'm getting involved in wrestling more, getting back into it. And the Doughboys out of Lowell and those guys really took care of her and the family. And I'm psyched because I know those guys from Lowell. They're the reason why I got better because they used to beat the crap out of me. Because they were, if you were going to be doing the wrestling in Lowell, you had to do the Lowell tournament. And you had to go through Lowell and Methuen and Chelmsford and all those fuckers in the Merrimack Valley. We love you, though. We love you. That's made me tough. I love the Merrimack Valley. I really do. Buddies with Timmy O'Keefe over there, Sean Kiley.
We had a lot of Merrimack Valley listeners.
Nice Aforo, Kevin, Uncle Nicey, Uncle Nicey, Sheehan.
Jump.
You guys are younger than me.
All right, so well-known, well-documented, one of the top stand-up comics in Massachusetts.
Award-winning comedian, Dave Russo.
Yeah,
I won an award 23 years ago.
I still think, I'll tell you right now, I do think that the wine might be my most impressive thing. I'm like, guys don't wine.
How about this? Let me share how I did that wine. Let me share how that happened. So, in the highlight of my my entertainment career, one of the highlights, I've had a pretty good run. Never super famous, but many local celebrities, all like fun little cool little things.
Yeah.
So I get to be on a reality show back in 2004, October 2004. I'm performing at the Laugh Factory. It was a Tropicana comedy stop back then, at the Tropicana in Vegas, and it's the night the Red Sox won the World Series for the first time in 86 years. And so I don't know about you, but I'm high on life. You know what I mean? It's the greatest day of my life. Right. And so there's a TV show called The Entertainer. I get an audition for it. Wayne Newton, Mr. Las Vegas. I end up auditioning for this TV show. I end up getting this TV show, The Entertainer. And so I forget where I'm going with this. We're talking about, I always lose my train of thought because this fucking story
really are.
forever.
The wine.
Oh, the wine. So this is how I get the wine. So at the height of my entertainmentness, all right, I'm on this TV show running for $1 million. I got a contract in Vegas. I'm out there living out there. My cousin in New Hampshire, who I worked for when I was a kid, he owned a mobile gas station on Main Street, and he's always like, 15 minutes early, 5 minutes late. He was always a great cousin, always hired me, paid me cash, hooked me up, made me feel like a champ. He sends an email out going, hey, you guys know I'm a winemaker. He's quiet, but always like very giving. And he goes, I've always loved this when I was 18. Listen, I'm taking a shot, man. I'm going to dig. I'm digging. I'm putting up grapes. If you want to come and help me, you guys get the first case. And I was like, back then I was wicked drinking a lot. I was Mr. Vegas. I was partying. And I was like, this fucker's going to do it. I love this. And I fucking showed up. I was the first one at his place in Hollis, New Hampshire. I don't know how the fuck I got there. Definitely still drunk. And I worked for like an hour. And then I went to his wife, my cousin Susan's, and I fucking slept the rest of the day. I got hard work being a farmer.
60 minutes.
I can sing and dance and do your taxes. But anyway, so the thing is, he's one of those guys where he remembered, like at the time, I was kind of at the height of my notoriety.
Yeah.
And like the famous cousin fucking showed up out of nowhere to help out, which he didn't forget it because years ago he says to me, now he's like 5-10 years into wine, because it was like 08, 9, 10 is when he started making it. And he goes, do you not like my wine? I said, man, no, I'm on this kick. I'm on these cruise ships performing, and I'm eating sushi. And this Malbec. This Malbec is great, man. It goes with my taste buds. I like it. I'm having sushi. I feel great. And it turns out that Malbec is a blue-collar red table wine. The highfalutin is the Merlot. Hey, I have a glass of Merlot.
Yeah.
But the guys who worked in the farms and worked out there would come home, have a piece of chicken and fish or steak, and have a glass of Malbec.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, neither did I. So we did the research. I go, I like this, man. This kind of fits. So it kind of fit my persona. It fit my.
Sure.
And he makes it, and it fucking sold out in 6 days. And now it's one of the top sellers because I have great taste buds. I'm a picky son of a bitch.
Love it.
I'm gonna
Great
have to get
taste
my
buds.
hands on this fucking
And
wine.
you know
It was
what?
described as
Can I tell you
slightly
something? Oh yeah. It's very jammy,
By the way, I
full
do my fucking
bodied,
research.
jammy,
Dude,
full bodied.
You never cease to amaze me, dude.
Yeah,
you
I
do,
do my
you do your
fucking-
Great
homework,
with
too.
cheese.
Come on.
Yeah.
I never show up fucking
I
without the
have, and
information.
you know what? I normally would bring. I was at a, not to bring it down, but I was at a wake funeral
Yeah,
type thing
no, no,
today.
no.
So it's like I was kind of all over the place today. It was kind of like
Yeah.
I had to go to the church,
Well,
then
we
I had to go to
appreciate you
work.
being here. We're just glad you're here.
Oh no! You know what the funny thing is when I'm usually good at like confirming stuff. Like I would normally confirm the day before. I'm like June. It's June 13th already. What the fuck?
I know. Fuck.
No, I thought we were doing that in a month. I realized what the fuck? I had to look at my thing. I'm going, and I look. There's no June. Yeah, I guess it's fucking.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah, it happened tonight.
No, but I set my alarm. I had my alarm, but I'm, oh my god, because it's just I don't know. It's just everything partial ego shit goes by fast. I mean, like aliens are coming. Fucking, they're in Vegas.
By the way, I think that's hilarious that like all the conspiracy theory people were like, fucking aliens are real. And now that they're saying aliens are real, they're like, no, that's the government trying to deflect.
Yeah.
Like, that's their
Right.
new conspiracy.
Right.
Like, anything
Right.
that the government gives you, they're like, fucking nope. Like, no fucking way.
That's what.
no
That's
fucking way.
been like that since day one.
Because it's, dude, and like, I'm good. I've said it many times. I'm good for a fun conspiracy. Give it to me. I'm
Yeah.
good with it. But like, I don't want to hear the 9/11 was fake conspiracy and
Right.
talking about that. I don't have any interest in that shit. But like, give me
Wait a
some
minute.
alien
Hold on a
shit.
second. The day before 9/11 happened, Rumsfeld said, "We have so many trillions of dollars missing from the Pentagon."
Oh,
And that
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
thing. Anyways, I pay attention on the conspiracy theorists, motherfucker.
I do too. But like, I love these people that are like,
No, but 9/11. You know what? 9/11 freaks me out a little bit. I don't want to because that's just a horrible. It's just. I used to never like flying.
Yeah.
I can honestly tell you, I never liked flying. I used to have anxiety. First time was in '86 when I was a young kid. Never liked flying. After that happened, I was able to fly because I said, these fuckers went through the worst thing ever. I'm gonna be that much of a pussy just because and then I would say,
Let me ask you a
what are
question.
the odds of it happening?
You were out in Vegas living out there.
Yeah, 18
I
months.
can't even fucking imagine. Like,
I'm the professional moderation
and you just came
guy.
back.
I was there for. I just celebrated my 20th year performing at the Tropicana, and I can't fucking believe it. 20 years I've been performing at the
Beautiful.
Tropicana.
Jesus, nice.
I've never cashed one of my checks out there ever. 20 years I've bringing my check home I've never cashed a check out there.
Yeah.
Never once. That's my record.
Yeah.
Never once cashed a check out there. This year I came back with more money than I've ever came back with ever in my life.
Hell yeah.
You know why? I'm like, fuck you. You're not taking my money. I'm sick of coming out here, you cocksuckers. You give me, like, here's, it's Monday, here's 500. It's
Yeah,
Tuesday,
yeah,
here's
yeah.
300. Fucking Thursday, Friday, Saturday, -7, -9. It's like, you fuck. So I got mine. I went out there with 2,500. I got it up to like 37, 38. That paid for, and I had dinners, steaks, dispensary, everything. And I ended up coming home with 2,500 cash and my paycheck. I got right back to even. That's the most I ever
dude,
came
that's
back with.
fucking
The
unbelievable.
most I've ever come back with. But I
Yeah.
can tell you this. My first time ever performing was March 2003. Joe Yannetti met me. He just finished up Sunday. I flew in on Sunday. Went to the Monte Carlo, which is now the MGA M Sport. My second hand ever playing 7-card stud. I got a straight flush versus a guy who had aces full.
Jesus.
And they paid me 500 in chips plus the pot.
oh yeah, because they give you the high hand part.
Ah, the prostitute was psyched.
I played in the main event of the World Series.
You missed that one? All right, America. That was a joke anyways. Come on, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Yeah, unless you get crabs. Those little critters are tattletales.
All right, so let me ask you this: you
Yes.
obviously were always outgoing.
Always definitely entertaining, not shy. And I could always dance better than any motherfucker.
Woo, damn.
I could dance better. Oh, you a good dancer too?
I took over after you retired.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I was.
But can
I
you
was,
just like dance regular
I
dance
was
like
like
a dance
Creed.
club?
You were fucking Balboa.
He almost called me Apollo. Oh, what is it? Only from the waist down am I Apollo. Come on. I didn't know. I didn't. So I guess when I say the dancing thing, I mean like now, like if I go to a dance club, can you like regular? You can regular dance then.
Yeah, but I started breakdancing.
Okay, wow.
I started when I was like when you started saying all these terms, I was like, yeah, I did them all.
Windmills into flares.
I couldn't do multiple flares. I could only do one.
So
I
at
could
one
do a
point,
you know what a 1990 is?
Yeah, of course.
Dude, I'm surprised the Kowloon's still there
Hold on a
after what
second.
he did on that dance floor.
Hold on a
That
second.
video.
Hold on a minute. At one point, I remember doing windmills one way,
Yeah.
stopping, flipping my legs, and then going the
See, that's
regular.
badass, dude.
That was toward the end. I was making up shit back then.
Yeah, that wasn't on purpose.
The crab ride was good. I used to do the crab ride backwards. The 99 thing, wasn't that the one that you flip over on one leg, flip over on one leg, flip over on one
No.
leg?
That's you're saying 99. Mine was a 1990. That's when
The spin on the thing I had?
on the hand. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
That's old shit.
Dude, that shit's sick.
We
dude.
started doing that
That
one.
shit's
That's
sick.
why we started wearing white gloves. Did you wear those? When you
I
were-
didn't wear white gloves.
Dude, we
no.
wore white gloves because if you would do like when you would do a windmill and then you fucking do, I would have it do a windmill, put it on. And I don't know. If, I used to have a freaking. When I got kicked out of Pope John, I was 79 pounds in Pope John when I was a cute little kid and I was breakdancing but the fucking guys hated me. If you didn't know me, you fucking fuck him.
Yeah.
You know, and back then I was called racial shit because it was 1985, dude. It was 85, so I was the white kid that could dance. So I got called. I was gay. I was called racial shit. And the funny thing is, a lot of my friends were people of color, and my dad coached Pop Warner, and we never had like hate. It was when I went to fucking Pope John. It was those fucking Revere fuckers. It really was. I was like, what? They were like brutal to me.
Yeah.
And somehow I ended up. I left Pope John and ended up. That's how I ended up at Malden High.
Really?
You know what I mean? Yeah. That's I never really like. I was dancing and. I forget how.
So let me ask you this. How'd you get into comedy? Like, how did that happen? Because I feel like now it's way more cool to become a comedian than it was back then.
Well, social media, so that
You know
helps.
That's what I'm
everybody.
saying.
You want to know how I got into this goddamn stupid business? So,
Can I steal another one of those?
my first year in college, I went to, I had a public speaking course, and I was never shy speaking in front of class. So, it was easy for me to just go on stage and tell stories, because everything's very vivid to me. I was really good at living in the moment. So, I remember I had to do an 8 to 10 minute speech on how I met my girlfriend's Italian father for the first time, Vincenzo Marenghi. Right then and there, it sounds funny. And these people in Pennsylvania, like, yeah, I remember walking in, he's like, how you doing? You know, so I kind of like, I saw the reaction of that, so that
Sure.
was nice. I never really went to an open mic night. I didn't know how to get into comedy. I didn't know that Boston was the hotbed. I always just liked comedy. I'd watch it on Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, and I just, but I didn't think I could be a comedian.
Sure.
And I'll tell you, I'm glad that you asked me this question. How did I become a fucking... Okay, so I never thought it because I would see Stephen Wright with the bald hair and the curly hair and looking strange, unique, you know, like looking like...
Dry delivery.
Yeah. Seinfeld with the tie. Like I was just, you know, this kid with a scally cap or whatever, baseball cap, jean T-shirt. And then I saw this guy, Richard Jenny. And if you don't know who Richard Jenny is out there, in 1993, if I'm not mistaken, because pot is legal, he won Comedian of the Year for Comedy Central. And he gets on stage, and he's my height. He's a guy from Brooklyn. He's this little Italian guy. And then I start watching him. Turns out he does like 5 or 6 HBO specials. He's known as one of the best in the business. Unfortunately, he took his own life because his business is fucking crazy, and they'll do it to you. But he was like, so I remember, I go, fuck, if he can do it,
Yeah.
So I had already written stuff. I just didn't know how to do it.
Yeah.
Like, you want to know my first joke I ever wrote? This is fucking ridiculous. It's fucking. I have a couple of them. So one of the first one I ever wrote was they just cast Mark Wahlberg to play John Holmes in the movie Boogie Nights. I don't know if you know who John Holmes is. He had a dick the size of a Fat Albert wiffle ball bat. I go, isn't Mark Wahlberg that guy that sang that song, Can You Feel It, Baby? I can too. I'm like, listen, if you got to ask someone if they can feel it, they're not feeling it. Like that was horrible casting by Hollywood. That's what I was saying. I mean, I don't know why I was doing it was just, he was in the news, I guess. And the other one was Demi Moore. I remember Demi Moore getting a haircut. Oh no, Demi Moore shaved her head for G.I. Jane.
G.I. Jane, G.I. Jane.
Because it just came back now with the slapping thing.
Yeah.
That was one of the first shows I wrote was G.I. Jane. I go, Demi Moore shaved her head for that movie, G.I. Jane. I go, this is the first time guys ain't looking at her boobs. Demi, if guys ain't looking at your boobs, that's a bad haircut. I
don't think that works.
I was on a haircut kick, on a bad haircut thing or whatever. And then the one joke that I really wrote that stuck, that was actually true and a real life story, was the bit. It's made my CD in '06. Gonorrhoepisyphilanitis. And it's a bit. The bit starts out with when our parents went up, they could make love. Our generation, I'm so paranoid. Even in my dreams, I wear a condom, for crying out loud. You might get that gonorrhoepisyphilanitis or something that's floating around. You got the Zika virus. How'd you get that? I think I banged a mosquito. I don't remember. And then my ex-girlfriend, before she made love with me, made me go for a test. I didn't think it was fair. I didn't study. Woman doctor brings me in the room, tells me to take my clothes off. I'm a guy naked in front of the mirror. I'm doing the whip. I got the twister going on. This lady walked in the room with a Q-tip the size of this microphone. At that point, my sailor goes into my stomach like a turtle's head in a shell. Looks up at me and says, "Hey, I thought you were gonna check make you cough." I'm like, "Nope, I think she's gonna check you for strep throat." At that point, she grabs the chute that jams in, nearly blinding the poor bastard, starts twisting like Vanna White from Wheel of Freaking Fortune. I couldn't take it anymore. I said, "I'd like to buy a vowel." O's a vowel. And that had something to do with Nadia Comaneci in there and some other fucking stuff. But that was based on a true story. And I'm going to tell you how that, and I'm not embarrassed. I'm not embarrassed to say it. When I was in college, I had a crush on this girl, Sherry Berry. She was from West. Oh,
She owned the fucking.
She was a
Sherry's
nurse
Berries?
student. She was a nurse student. Had the nickname Sherry Berry. She was a nurse. She was from Central New Jersey, and those were the fun girls. And so I had sex with her, and the condom broke. And it was right around the time when Magic Johnson came out. And I was like, fuck. So I had to go get tested, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I remember, like, everyone on the campus, at that time we all went and dude, I remember doing bits on this going like, because back then you had to wait like 2 fucking weeks for the results. You know what I mean?
Even my era, you had to wait that long. That is the most grieving 2 weeks of your life.
How about this? The one lady I remember, she was, I called, she was, "Mr. Russo, your results are," I go, "Hey, what are they?" She goes, "Well, you have to come in." I go, "Well, you can tell me over the phone." No, Mr. I go, "Well, do I have to come in because I have to come in, or you're just not allowed to tell it on the phone?"
Yeah.
No, Mr. We're not allowed to tell it on the phone. Good or bad? Good or bad. And that fucking walk is like slow motion across the street. No. And then you find out that, you don't have anything because the girl's 18 years old and from fucking Pennsylvania and she's had sex with nobody. Just like fucking, you're an idiot. Yeah. You know what I mean?
It's paranoia, though. I know that exactly.
100%. We were raised, like, especially, like, and I'm, like, a little bit, obviously I'm a little bit younger than you, right? We were around the same age. But, like, dude, it was, like, sold to us, like, dude, if you don't have a rubber on, like, there's a good chance you die. Like,
you're gonna fucking die.
I'm like, she was a virgin. And I'm like, do I have, like, is she pregnant? Do I have anything? Then I'm finally trying to get, then when you're finally trying to get a girl pregnant, they're like, it's gotta be Tuesday and the fucking lunar cycle on a fucking Monday. Fucking, you
in between these temperatures,
my
keep the
leg's
window
gonna be
open.
this way. It's like, dude, I thought I could get a girl pregnant, like, in the backyard with 2 rubbers on.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
It's funny when, oh gosh, I remember my first time when I lost my virginity, and people go, "How'd you do it?" I go, I kind of convinced her. She's like, "Well, how do I know you're not going to?" Because back then women were really nervous.
Sure.
If I sleep with you, going to tell anyone? And I was like, "No." She's like, "Why not?" I go, "Then because my friend's going to try to sleep with you. I don't want the competition." I was honest with her. She's like, "That makes sense."
Yeah.
But I remember this. Now she had moved from Indiana. That's right. I lost my virginity to a girl from Indiana. How fucking,
Jesus.
is it a classic story? Yeah, she's from Canada. No, she's from Indiana, and you can't make it up. Lived next to the Northgate Shopping Center because I'm trying to find her. It was so long ago.
Yeah.
And we don't have. So, anyways, I worked at the fucking Northgate Shopping Center, Purity Supreme supermarket.
What a
and
fucking
she
name
lived
drop
next
right there.
door. And
Purity
she lived
Supreme.
next door in the projects with a 22-year-old brother who was a shoe salesman who happened to be homosexual. I don't know. This is the story. I'm not making this shit up. That's why honesty is funny. You can't make that shit up.
Purity Supreme, shoe salesman, homosexual.
So how about this? I don't know he's a homosexual, nor do I care. And back then, neither did I care.
Yeah.
All I know is that this is a fucking true story. I never told this to my people. So I have sex with her, And I'm not gonna tell you how great it was. It was awesome. I got a couple callbacks, but I remember I was cleaning off with the towel.
Yeah.
And she goes, don't use that. That's my gay brother's towel.
Oh!
I'm like, nah, what? And I remember, and back then, you're like, oh my god, I was in the same room with a gay guy.
Yeah.
You know, it was
Yeah,
so
Harvey
stupid.
Milk, dude.
I never felt that way, but I remember being like, catch you off guard. And that's why. Growing up in Malden, this area, we were educated.
Sure.
But I mean, it still fucking threw you for a curveball.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
That was 1986, August 11th. How do I know that? I lost my virginity that day. Hello, America. How you doing? Come on. What do you mean? I was doing that bit lately. I go, they always say it's important for women, like, or more special for women. I go, I disagree. Anytime I've asked any woman, hey, how was your first time? Fucking sucked. Hated it. He was too big. It hurt. Ask a guy. Oh, August 11, 1986? Fucking phenomenal. I celebrated every fucking month on that day. I think about it all the... I mean, come on. You know, no, I've never had a bad time having sex. Even when I got arrested, it was fucking great.
So how did it, like, when you were coming up, right? Who else were you coming up with around here?
Oh, comedians?
Yeah.
So John Fish, I would say, Jimmy Colleton. Those are the guys that were probably my contemporaries when I started. Mark Riley, I think, started shortly after
Mark's
me.
a great guy.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Guys that you wouldn't know. But when I was on the scene, who were the big dogs on the scene? Shit.
Probably like Larry, right? Dennis Leary.
He was already, it's weird. When I started in Boston, Patrice O'Neill had already left. Dane
fucking
Cook had already left.
Legends.
All the Bill Burr already left. Bobby Kelly already left. So when I was there, it was fucking weak. If I want to
Yeah.
be honest,
Yeah.
it was like a whole brand new. It was like, okay,
Crop of
click,
people.
now
Yeah,
go.
yeah, it was like a new
and
Saturday
the
Night
thing
Live
that
cast.
sucks is that I'm those guys' ages, but I went to college in Pennsylvania. I wrestled Division I. I was doing. I didn't have time to fucking be
Yeah,
funny.
yeah,
I was
yeah.
nothing funny about dieting.
Yeah.
Actually, there's a lot of funny stuff about going
not so
fucking
bad.
sucking on one chicken wing
Yeah.
one night, fucking making it last like 4 hours. I got one more fucking nibble, you motherfucker. I'll kill that fucker. I'll kill him tomorrow, making me fucking. I used to, guys, I'm gonna make you pay for me suffering for not eating. Fucking. I used to fucking,
So how old were you when you first started doing it, though?
the comedy. 26 years old.
Okay, yeah.
26 years old, yeah. And it's a shame because I looked like I was 19. So if I had done it when I was 19, I would like I was 15.
Yeah.
But I think I did miss all those guys going. And I went to New York I was in New York when 9/11 happened. And I was hanging out with Bill Burr. I remember my Bill Burr story is I've been a fan of his since 1999. I went up to him like, hey, man, I'm a fucking fan of you. I was like, you're fucking great, man. And the next day, hey, Bill, Dave Russo from Boston. The third day, Dave Russo, he goes, dude, I know who the fuck you want. What do you want? I go, hey, relax, fucker. And I did comics from home with him. I've done some shows, but I always tell him, I don't know if I'm a good judge of talent, but I'm like, what's taking this long for that guy to be famous? I've loved him
Yeah,
since 1999. I just always knew he had something.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm glad for him. All those guys, Bobby Kelly always has been awesome to me.
Yeah.
He was when I would go to New York. But now I know, like, no one really wants anyone to do well. Tom Carter, when I first started, Kerry Louise and Tom Carter, who I'm working with coming up soon. Tom had just moved to New York. Kerry was still in Massachusetts. She was hosting shows. Gary Gullen was 3 years in. And so he was already kind of... He knew the business. He knew show business. He locked on to Dane pretty good and Anthony Clark and I guess I just thought I overthought I was more talented. I didn't think I needed anyone to help me, so I'm still in Melrose doing podcasts. I'll make some phone calls. It's funny though, Bobby Farrelly. I'm not doing the name drop thing, but I fucking get along with him great. And it's like he could probably help me, and I'm sure if he would. Oh shit, I didn't even think.
Sure.
He mentioned me on the Mark Maron podcast the other day. I'm like fucking Mark Maron's like who? I'm like I interviewed you back in 2012. No, but that's another guy, Maron, who I get along with all those guys, but it's weird. My act right now is I have a good niche on being the MC of a show or hosting a show.
Yeah,
Hey, how you
killed
doing,
it.
everybody? Because not a lot of people want to be that. Everyone has egos in these shows. But if you're a good host and you get them up to the front, they'll love you just as much. Maybe not as much as the last guy who fucking destroys it.
Sure.
But, hopefully if you're doing the right thing, you're still earning a good living. With the comedy thing here, being a headliner, and it's fucking different, dude. Because the middle act is the easiest. You know, and so my act doesn't really make me be a middle act for a strong headliner because they're not going to want to follow me. I'm
Sure.
energetic.
Yeah.
I'm likable,
Yeah,
and not to be like sound like a dick, but
No,
I'm
but I've
likable.
heard that before. Like if you're like, if
And
you
I didn't
don't
know
want a
that
headline-
though.
You don't
But
want
this-
a middle is gonna kill, right?
But this is my brain thought. I thought, go kill in front of Chappelle. Go kill him. I was fucking going balls to the walls trying to kill him. They're like, who the fuck? I remember Jim Norton. I didn't get this till years later. He wasn't famous yet. And I said to him, I go, take a picture of me. You're going to be famous. I just took one with Chappelle and he just blew up. And Norton blew up like 6 months later. No bullshit. But I didn't know this. I was fucking destroying in front of him. And I didn't realize. He's like, dude, this is my hometown. Don't be fucking killing in front of me. I didn't know that. I thought he wanted me to kill.
Yeah,
Look how
yeah.
good this guy is. No,
Yeah.
we don't want that.
Yeah.
I fucking learned the hard way. That didn't help me at all.
So they wanted you to be like just enough.
I
laughs.
tease because when people bring other people on, like if Dice Man brings a woman on Eleanor, she's great.
Yeah.
But you know, it's a good mix because her material talks about this and his energy is this. You're not going to, if Stephen Wright, I mean, maybe you wouldn't want me to open for Stephen Wright because I'm high energy
Sure.
and he's low energy. But you're not going to want somebody like I've opened for Dice and I kind of watched. I wasn't like, hey, I wasn't like doing like Dice, you know what I mean? Because Dice is Dice. You kind of want to, you know, dude, when you're a headliner, they don't give, there's nothing about the opener. Please. And you know, I learned this the hard way. Another one. Who's the guy Any Given Sunday? He hosted Last Comic Standing, Bill Bellamy. He goes,
yeah.
Now, this is how much of a dick I am. And this is my little man's disease, but I didn't even know.
I'm sitting there. I'm like, we're talking comics. He talks about Any Given Sunday. And I'm like, where the fuck is this going?
Bill Bellamy,
I'm like
like that one?
Lawrence Taylor.
Bill Bellamy, like I want to pull that out of my
right.
ass.
No shit.
So I'm opening for him in the college in really wealthy town.
Wellesley.
Wellesley. Yeah.
We're good.
Babson College?
Babson College.
Is that Wellesley?
That's Walter.
Fucking champion. No,
Babs is a
with the one we're talking about.
Brandeis.
No, Babson. We're talking about Babson.
Babson.
I'm pretty
Okay.
sure. One of those fuckers. So I find, you know what, and this is, and I'm not going to say who the agent is, but the agent goes, yeah, he only wanted to pay you $50 to open for him. I told him 300 or fucking you're walking. I was like, fucking $50. This motherfucker's making 15 grand. So when I get there, he goes, hey, man, I don't need you to hit a home run. I just need you to hit a single or a layup or something like that. I was like, yeah? I got a standing ovation open for him. Right? Oh, that sounds great on paper, right? Yeah. First of all, I never work with him again. Second thing, he ends up hosting Last Comic Standing. If I had fucking been nice to him, maybe he'd kept his number.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
hey,
yeah.
I'm on Last Comic Standing. I'm hosting. Come on. No. He'd be like, that motherfucker, fuck
But
yeah.
isn't like that the fucking Malden Boston thing? It's like if somebody asks you to take a dive and then you don't want to take a dive, do you know what I mean?
You're not
Like it's like
gonna
fuck
take
this.
It's not gonna happen.
How about I just knock you out? How about that?
I've pissed off more people by mistake. Like, oh, I thought I was doing the right thing.
But how do you, if that's your nature to try to kill, like you said, killers love killers, right? If that's your nature, especially coming up through sports, right?
Dan Cook used to
Wrestling.
like that, by the way. Not that I knew him. I'm sorry to cut you off, but he used to say that. I love when the guy kills before me.
Yeah.
love. He used to say that. I never understood it, but he's a killer. I guess he is a killer.
Dane,
Yeah.
When Dane was Dane,
know.
that was like I was in high school when like you know
he fucking
the
made that
BK,
MySpace
like,
thing happen, man.
it was crazy. His shit.
He was the
blew-
first guy to blow himself up on social media, basically. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, he
but-
set the fucking.
But like I remember listening. He was like the first CD that I had as a comedian, and
No
I
kidding.
would fucking
Really.
lose it.
You know what? That kills me because Jim Gaffigan is the one who told me to do. He goes, dude, it's easy. Just do it. And I did it. And I made tons of money. But I
Yeah.
never tried to put it on Sirius or in a record store. I just sold at my shows. Hey, $20 there you go. Making cash out of the back of my garage.
So
I
My
was
first one,
into that
Dice
shit.
was my first comedy album.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure.
Like at my age, like
Right.
it was like
I love
never
Dice.
really
And you know what I learned about Dice? So I remember watching him on two separate occasions. He'd have it when he had a different punchline. And I remember as a fan going, no, man, I wanted that punchline. Why'd you change the punchline? So when I'm doing my comedy act right now, I have a joke, because I have an older sister. So it's like sometimes when I laugh real hard, I tinkle. Oh, no, that's not the joke. My sister would put makeup on me. I don't know. I felt beautiful.
Yeah.
But the other joke was sometimes, I don't know, I felt pretty. Pretty's the right one. Beautiful's not that fucking funny. But so I have to like remember that, like you have two different. But then again, I watched Ray Romano at his TV show, and when they do the practice taping, they'd have this punchline, and then the real taping, they'd have that punchline.
Really?
And would really surprise the audience, yeah. And I think he would do it like me. I felt beautiful, and the next one he'd be like, I felt pretty, which is funnier.
Yeah.
pretty is fun.
Yeah, pretty's funnier.
Yeah.
And yeah. But you guys see, that's the only thing that bums me out. I'm going to be known as a comedian instead of an entertainer. And I really should have been known as a coach. I'm going to go back into coaching, and then there'll
Yeah?
be yeah. Yeah, because what I hear right now is you can't be tough with the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can.
I'm gonna be.
It's.
You have to be very tiptoe-ish.
I'll tell you right now, we got throwback coaches at Melrose that are like, the kids love it. They yearn for
Well,
it.
your wrestling coach is phenomenal. He's over 800 wins.
Yeah, but the football coaches too. Like they are old. They've been there forever, and it's like the kids, dude. People they thrive off discipline, and like
Right.
It's the truth. I don't know if this says I'm sick or what have you, but I had a coach my first year, Dave O'Brien, and Dave O'Brien he's how can I say this? He's a unique, twisted thinking individual, writer, thought provoking, very dark, some dark shit.
yep.
And Lepresti, who got me to do wrestling, was kind of more passive. And when O'Brien left, I was bummed out. I'm like, I want the crazy guy. We did the fucking Jane Fonda workout every day in practice back in the 80s, and I didn't realize this. He would wear spandex and the whole thing. Yeah, I like the crazy guy.
Yeah.
That's why I know I'm a wrestler. I'm crazy. I wear tutu, spandex, I could singlets. Let's see now. Comedy. Yeah, you see, I'm known as this comedian guy, and the thing is, it's like a young man's sport right now. And because I'm doing corporate events, which I make a lot of good money.
Yeah.
I do private events. In the travel in the country right now, like in 2003, I performed at, I think, 46 out of 52 colleges. I did the Gilda Radner Foundation. I opened up for Sinbad on my birthday, October 11th, 2003. I'll never forget. I got a standing ovation opening for Sinbad, and I was supposed to be the featured act. And I go off stage. It's my birthday. I get a standing ovation. Sinbad puts his arm around me, and the local DJ is doing. He goes, "See this guy?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "He's eating it." I go, "No, he okay." He goes, "No, he's not funny." He bitched. He goes, "Man, this kid Russo's only been doing comedy 3 years. I've been doing 15." I said, "Well, the kid Russo's from Boston." Right. And you fucking Boston people. This kid don't stand a chance. And Sinbad took me out to dinner that night, and he took us all out to dinner, not just me. And it was for the Gilda Radner Foundation, who I was a huge fan of on Saturday Night Live. People say, "How'd you get into comedy?" I used to love Rosanna Dana.
Yeah.
And the fact that she was married to Willy Wonka, so I loved her. Gene Wilder.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
I'm dropping some names here. But I got to do her event, and I got to do a standing ovation. That's when I knew that Boston was different, because Sinbad was like, "Man, you Boston guys, I know a lot of you guys. You're different. You just come at them."
I mean, I don't think there's another city out there that you can compare the amount of comedians that have successfully made it out of this area.
Oh,
No, probably not. Well,
New York's the only thing close, but
Well, let's talk about that, because yes, there's a ton out of New York that are successful, and a lot of them are transplants. But if you look at like late night TV, if you look at like Jay Leno, Boston guy, Conan O'Brien, Boston guy, Conan's head writer, Boston guy, David Letterman's head writer went to Emerson, is from Jersey.
Louis C.K.
Louis C.K. Boston guy. You got Joe Rogan, Bill Burr, Bobby Kelly,
Dennis Leary,
Don Gavin, Lenny
Patrice
Cross,
O'Neill.
Steve Sweeney, Patrice O'Neill. Now Patrice O'Neill
Is originally
got me
from
my
New-
first manager, Jason Steinberg, who I still work with, who's actually now still my manager. I just don't go on auditions so much anymore. I used to drive. I worked with Patrice O'Neill.
that's awesome.
Bums me out because he loved me, and I don't think Burr knew how much that, because like still these guys are like the top tier now, and I'm still I'm still one of the boys. But Patrice, we worked on Christmas Day, Christmas Day at the Aku Aku at the Comedy Palace in Worcester, exit 17 off Route 290, and
You're like fucking Rain Man, dude.
Patrice was the middle act, and Freddie Stone, who would shoot ping pong, was the headliner, and Patrice O'Neill way went over his time. Probably supposed to do 35, probably like an hour. All right, and Freddie's freaking the fuck out in the back, and I fucking bummed because I had to wait too. That Freddie,
Right.
it was like, Patrice, you fucking go long. We still gotta wait. And he didn't give a fuck. I would drive him home, and I remember saying to him, I go, "So how do you feel about this whole American thing?" And he looked at me and was like, "Russo, what the fuck?" Because at that time, it was a whole transition thing. We weren't allowed to say black. Now you had to say African American.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Psh, man, I never been to fucking," and whatever. He was just, but he was real good to me. So when I went to New York and I was like an outsider, he looked out after me, and I didn't realize he was sick, dude. When he passed to 42, dude, he passed fucking
That's
like
crazy.
10 years ago.
Yeah,
Right?
Crazy.
10 fucking years ago. It
He's a
sucks.
fucking monster.
I've driven him home a couple of times, and he was like, I remember he said to me, he goes, "You can drop me." I go, "No, dude, I can drive you to where." I go, because I remember I was a dancer with Wyatt Jackson.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've been to the hood. Come on, man. I've been to the barbershop. Break dancer. But I think that's why I got along with him as well, too. But I think when I would talk to him, I go, "Hey, you remember Cisco?" Like I would mention old breakdancing dudes from like the Floor Lords and stuff like that. And he was like, "How the fuck you know?" And I think when I mentioned Wyatt, I think he knew that I was legit, even though I didn't.
You were invited to the barbecue.
I was invited. I was part of the neighborhood.
All right, so Danny's going to do his first stand-up.
Yeah, I think I put that in my. You're gonna be on the South Shore, which I think is best.
Crazy. I know. I never go to the South Shore.
I told you though, you don't want to do it on your friends the first.
Yeah.
So I remember my first time.
Yeah.
Johnny Eccleston's there.
Johnny Eck.
Johnny
Who's
Eck.
taller, you or him?
I got him. Johnny Eck's
Johnny's the man.
videotaping.
Another
and,
wrestler.
Yep, he's videotaping. And so at the end, I goes, "How did I do?" He goes, "Well, remember when you first started wrestling, you had potential, but you weren't a state champ." He goes, "Yeah, I like that, right?" I go watch the video later on at home. I hear, "Oh my God, he's so bad." Johnny Eck, we love him.
Johnny's
So
the
you're
man.
doing what, 10?
Yeah, so you
That
know.
seems like, does that seem like a lot?
Oh, it's a wicked lot.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I
think
tried
10
telling him
moves
earlier, I was like,
dude,
try to-
all right, because here's my comparison. I've been playing in bands my whole life. You'd be like, "Oh, we got 45 minutes."
Yeah.
I've said this before, right? And then you look down at the sheet. You threw half the songs, and
You
there's
still got
12 minutes
25
gone.
minutes.
No, there's 12 minutes gone.
Yeah.
And you're like, you're moving faster. Your fucking
Yeah.
adrenaline's going.
Well, that's why what we're gonna do. All right, I think 10 minutes. Sometimes 5 minutes is gonna suck. So this is my suggestion. Okay, don't drink.
Yep. Well, I'll be on the South Shore anyways.
Yeah, I would say don't drink. I mean, because I find like I can have a nice little glow and be buzzed.
Sure.
But legitimately, when I have to be on point, sober is best to be.
100%. Yeah.
I would suggest beforehand you really stretching out, breathing, getting loose, and when you get the nerve, saying to yourself, "Well, you got to do it anyway, so either be a pussy or not a pussy." I would also say smile right when you get on stage, and I would also say don't try to be funny.
Yeah.
It's the first thing I would say. When you get on stage, do not try to be funny. They're going to go, you're trying. He's trying to be funny.
Yeah.
Right.
So, when you get on stage, you kind of, I used to do this. This is my little technique. When I would like fucking shake the host's hand, and then I'd like whisper something in his ear, like, I fucked your mother in the eye. I would say something like if it was a friend of mine, and I would make it seem like, and he would probably, he or she would get a little reaction, and then now it seems like, I'm
comfortable.
fucking comfortable.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not worried about these people.
Yeah.
But you still got to keep your eye on the audience. Never turn your back on the audience. But you got to do something like that, and then you got to make sure you move the mic stand, and you visualize, and See, I'm like,
yeah.
I'm not. You can communicate with an audience non-verbally, and that's how you put them at ease. And then you'd be fucking funny. But never try to be funny right away. We're not Steven.
I think I told this story before, but Sean, who I don't know if you know Sean, but Sean from the IA. Sean.
Oh, no, I don't even know him.
Okay, anyways, he did his first stand-up ever at a Halloween party, right?
Okay.
He wanted to do it. Sean O'Brien.
Sean
brought him
O'Brien
up there,
did it. You know Sean
right?
O'Brien?
You know what? I would actually think it probably wouldn't be too bad inside of a home.
No, at the IA?
Wh-
It was at the Irish American.
The big room?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's the worst acoustics in America.
Big room, not a fun room. We do the MOA there all the time.
Dude,
Tough
but
room.
when you had said you like doing the MC in there, dude, that was you killed it as an MC.
Well, you know what? I have like a little bit of a routine now to get people on board and to know. And I had a couple of things like, hey, the policeman was there. I'll do a policeman joke, make it seem like that came off the top of my head. Or mall, those ones. It's just I've been doing it so long. I try not to think.
So,
But I'm glad it went well because those fucking made me
yeah,
the
so he
most
got up and
nervous.
did it. And by the way, it was a tough sound system and everything. So he knows he says to me, he goes, "Did you get nervous? Do you get nervous when you play music?" And I go, "No." And I looked at him, I go, "But I've done it probably 500 times, so
Right.
good luck." It's your first time.
I get
Dude, you
nervous.
shit your
though.
Uh-huh.
pants the first time you're doing anything.
I got to be honest with you. I'm not nervous at all right now.
Yeah, exactly. And
I'm doing stand up for the first time, but it's not my first time in front of a crowd. It's not my
No, but
I can do karaoke in front of Gillette right now, no
Okay.
problem.
Okay, I understand that. So now let me ask you a question. So, do you have a theme of what you're going to talk about?
Yep.
Okay. And
And I kind of know like what order I'm gonna go in.
okay. Okay.
So like I got to kind of like
You got a rhythm.
I have a
You
rhythm.
got pullbacks.
I do.
You got,
know,
I'm
I
not.
haven't
I'm
done-
not just gonna have like. I'm not gonna Mitch Hedberg it, who I love, but I'm not.
I've
just
opened
gonna,
for Mitch.
Did you?
I opened for Mitch a year before he passed away. As a matter of fact, it was at University of South Dartmouth. And it was in 2000, I want to say, May. It might have been, when did he pass? 2007?
Something like that.
So it was like 6.5-ish. And because this is how I remember, he got there 5 minutes before showtime. Never talk ill will about.
High as a kite.
He's super nice. Him and his wife or girlfriend was super nice. He had a little bit of dirt underneath his fingernails. I only point that out because I protocol in Boston was always show up a half hour before showtime, and he was like, but super nice, fucking super. And at the end of my show, I used to always say, by the way, why did I say the dirty fingernails? I don't know. It's just something that I noticed when I shook his hand.
I'm the same. I love fucking things like that.
You know, I just
because
remember
it paints a picture of a great story.
Yeah, I just remember that I noticed that it's a little rugged, but fucking super sweet. And when I used to always end my shows, my website is DaveRusso.net. That's DaveRusso.net, not .com. That's the plumber in Ohio. And he goes, keep it going for DaveRusso.com. Dave Russo
with his sunglasses on. Oh yeah.
And he was great. And then shortly thereafter, people said, oh, he was on the. I said, he was great. I met him briefly, and he was like, hi, man. Yeah, he was like,
yeah.
Cool guy. Yeah, I've opened for.
You've opened for a couple dudes.
Well, how about this one? This guy's dead too.
Well, I mean, Patrice, fucking Mitch Hedberg.
Patrice O'Neill. There's another guy I opened for. He used to be on Howard Stern all the time. I gave Paul Gilligan a CD because he gave me a CD and I never opened it. It's son of a gun. His joke was Robert. I opened for Robert Klein too, though. I did his TV show, but his joke was and it'll come to me. I'm sorry that I forget his name, but his joke was in the '80s. He goes, "You ever wake up? You go out in the night, you wake up." And you wake up next to a stranger. You look. I looked up at her. I was like, "Yeah." And she woke up and she looked at me. She was like, "Ah!" Like she did the. Yeah, she was the drunk. She was the drunk. You know what I mean? What the hell? Robert Schimmel. There you go, America.
Yeah.
Opened for him twice at the Chappelle. I opened for Chappelle when he was working on his "Killing Him Softly" HBO special at the Comedy Connection Faneuil Hall. Yeah. I'm trying to think who. Oh, I did that thing with Bruce Springsteen. That was kind of cool. I'm trying to think of someone. Wayne Newton. Fuck yeah, I worked with some fucking
the
heavyweight.
Wayne Newton story is kind of crazy.
Wayne Newton. If you go on my website, DaveRusso.net, not .com, with the plumber in Ohio. If you go on that website, I have all 10 episodes. I flew on Wayne Newton's helicopter with them. He flew me on a private jet with a couple people to see Matt Damon. It's all these. Yeah. Dude, fucking. You might have Googled it. Come on, let's go.
I was watching.
Let's go public school.
But I was that the one with the entertainer that was for $1 million, right?
I was running for $1 million, and hindsight's 2020.
Sucks.
Hindsight's 2020. How about this? Here's an exclusive for you fuckers. The kid who beat me, DeLisco, God bless him, good dude. He stuck. We all said whoever wins, the other guy will open for you. So he stuck to his word. So I respect that 1,000,000%. He actually got arrested January 6th at the insurrection.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
Are you serious?
Yeah, he was on Trump's team. He got arrested on that.
Jesus.
DeLisco. And the funny thing is,
I think you won so far.
do I get that money back? Do I get that money? So what ended up happening was, so DeLisco does this cruise where he wears this Michael Jackson rainbow jacket or whatever. I don't know, some type of, he does this type of cruise that he dances and performs on. And I guess he was wearing that jacket during the insurrection, and
so they could identify him.
And so there's only one of a kind.
Yeah,
and so they got him. That's what I heard.
It's not the smartest idea to wear that, no?
Yeah.
DeLisco. I hope you're well, man. No, seriously, because like I said, hey, he kept his word, man. I got fucking entertainment business. He kept his word, and hey, he got caught. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
All
right, so he's in his act right now.
Well, okay.
He's got a flow.
Yeah, but he doesn't want to tell me what his sub is. I understand.
I get that. He doesn't want to let it out. Right. He doesn't let it out. Maybe off here. We don't know, but we do. All right, real quick, I gotta do some sponsors, if that's all right.
Let's do it. All
right. And by the way, if you guys want to go out and piss, you can.
I will definitely do that.
And Danny, after you're done, you can show Dave where the men's room is.
Sure can.
All right. Willie P's Chicken, 50 Binney Street, Cambridge, Massachusetts. You already know. The best in the business. Chris Parsons, executive chef. By the way, Chris Parsons just might have hooked me up with tickets to the Dead. I got to pay for them, but that's neither here nor there. That's my guy. Chris Parsons, executive chef, Jillian at the front of the house. I recommend the Chris P. If I'm going there, I'm getting the Chris P every time. It's a classic. Shishito Peppers. They have music usually on Friday nights. Sometimes it's me. I'm going to be there on Same night as Danny's doing comedy. I'm going to be there on June 23rd, Friday night. Come down, see us, make it happen. LilyPeaceChicken.com. You can also check them out at Hub Hall. Bella's Roast Beef. Danny's got the sweatshirt on tonight. Bella's Roast Beef is the best in the business. BellasRoastBeef.com. The best roast beef I've ever had in my life. Brioche roll, absolutely the fucking best. I mean, super on an onion roll, they have that too. They got it all. BellasNA.com. All right, that's www.bellasna.com. Check them out, 1211 Osgood Street, and you can go find them anytime. They are the best. You go see Harry, you go see Sandra. They're my favorite. They're my favorite place to eat. They're the best of the business. Go see them. I'm gonna do all this right now. I'm gonna. By the way, this tells me of how bad it would be to do your own podcast by yourself because I'm sitting here while these guys are taking a leak. J&L Energy, phone number 781-428-3388. Save.jnl@gmail.com. It's the same as Insulation Situation. Mass Save Partner. Single families, you know the fucking deal. You're paying into it, you can get the money back, all right? That's the bottom line. They owe you the money. They fucking pay me. They fucking owe you the money. Any corker that reaches out, you're going to get an additional 10% off. If you get it, if you're fully covered, you get a $100 gift card, all right, for the completion of the project. ThermPros, 617-990-6755. ThermPros.info@gmail.com. Full construction company. You know the deal. They can do your basement. They can do your roof. They can do your siding. I'll tell you what else they can do. They can paint your fucking face, all right? They can paint your living room with a touch of Van Gogh. That's a fact, all right? You can hang it in the fucking Louvre, all right? It is the best painter in the world, Sean Collins. He can also play music. He can also do that, all right? He can play music. He can do he can do whatever you need him to do, all right? This guy can do it at your house, all right? All projects, big and small. ThermPros can make it happen. Our guy, Sean, he's our guy. That's the guy you're going to talk to, not Collins, our other guy, Sean. He's the GM. All corkers are going to get 10% off of their project. All right. So you have that at the end of that. You can get a little bit money off your deal thanks to us. All right. We're back. All right. So we got some voicemails to listen to.
Perfect.
Also, real quick, I had, so Dave, I know that you're new to the show. First of all, we fucking love having you.
My
We
pleasure.
really appreciate having you.
My pleasure.
So on the show in the past, I've done these like, as I explained earlier, like I'm a musician, I sing, I play guitar. So I've done these like parody songs every once in a while, right?
Okay.
So a couple weeks ago, last weekend, I went to a cornhole tournament in Maine with my buddies, and I got banged up, and I might have slipped and fell in the hotel room, and I scratched up my neck. And I was remembering the story that my buddies told me that he had fallen down the stairs, and his father was like, "Oh, Ryan," he goes, "Those are night wounds. We don't really talk about those, right?" So when I was a kid,
Night wounds.
So
Did you
listen,
replay that
so
night
so
wounds?
I wanted to record it properly because here's the thing about in my house growing up, my mother only played Seeger and Springsteen to clean the house. So I had fucking Seeger in my brain. Now, Seeger didn't play guitar. Seeger, all those songs were written on piano, so they're a little funky of like a feel to like play them out like on the guitar and sing at the same time. I could do it, but I can't do it like I could do like Springsteen or something like that.
Oh, you did this on your guitar.
I did this. I sang at the same. I did this afternoon.
Bob Seger.
I did this afternoon.
Night moves.
Throw those on. Look at you guys tuned up here. You got it?
I can hear you.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
If you didn't tell me what this was, I'd know what it was immediately, though.
Fucking epic.
Are we singing along?
Get it if you want.
I don't know the words.
Little too old, I could lose a few pounds. These tight pants are tighter now. Out with the boys, we get away from home. She said no with that Patron. Oh, that Patron. Out past midnight, the drinks got heavy. Those damn shots, I had too many. Working on entries without any clue. I was working on my night wounds, trying to think of some type of excuse to tell my wife about my night wounds.
You're a madman.
I got no idea how I got these wounds. Oh, I was drunk as hell.
You're a madman.
Out these fucking night wounds. Ooh, I'm talking about my night wounds.
Hell yeah.
So, if you grow up in a house
Yeah.
where your mother listens to strictly Springsteen, during COVID, I had to do all these. I did all these COVID concerts because my friends. I used to play on St. Patty's Day, right? So like the first St. Patty's Day was right when we got the lockdown.
Yeah.
So my friends were like,
Right.
dude, go on Facebook Live and play some fucking Irish tunes. So I'm like, all right. So then I did it every week, and we ended up raising a bunch of money for charity through it. But the first time, my buddy's father reaches out, he goes, hey, do you know? Can you play Against the Wind? And I had never played a singer song ever. I didn't need to learn the lyrics, dude. I learned the chords, and I'm like, if you listen to somebody all like from the time you're fucking 6
Yeah,
in your ear
it's-
always,
Yeah.
like I'm like, you can sound like them because you do impressions, right?
A little bit.
Does he ever?
Can we get a little De Niro?
De Niro's more like more visual. And Bobby Gautreaux taught me how to do it. He said, mint, punch you in the face. Oh, fucking you fuck. Yeah. But I enjoy doing the song parodies. Like you know, I just somehow stripped on a Weird Al Yankovic. Did one of the kids, the actor, are they doing a movie about him?
Yeah, they did one.
Okay, they did one. I've been watching some scenes. It was awesome. Who's the kid?
But
The
then
kid-
it's the kid from Harry Potter.
Harry Potter kid, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, talented. All right.
Yeah.
So I was just watching that. So that, if you can, with this technology that you have, I would love to rewrite some songs.
Let's do it.
Can you make it? But let me
I
ask
can
you this.
do whatever you want.
But can you put it out there like Weird Al Yankovic and then go? Can we do concerts? Can we make money off this?
100%. We'll be like the Blues Brothers.
I have an idea of one song that I've had since the '90s, and I can't believe it hasn't been done yet. I'm
Let's
not
do it.
going to say it over here,
Yeah, do it.
Because
Let's
those
do it.
2,000 Boston people rank number 78 are going to say, "Motherfucker, I'm getting it." Working on those night wounds.
Love it. Fucking genius.
Dude, you know what it is though? When I was in college, none of my friends. I grew up playing basketball, so none of my friends played music. So I went to college.
My friends were in a band.
Yeah.
My college roommate's married one of the Dixie Chicks.
Really?
Yeah, the Courtyard Hounds. I know. I said, well, why am I not opening for the fucking court? I've opened for, hey, Marty, I've opened for Bruce Springsteen. I can't open for the Courtyard Hounds. Come on, you fucker. Yeah, we used to, every girl's crazy about a well-hung man. Down, bringing the down. These were all college songs we were
Fucking
singing.
ZZ Top.
We used to sing, I remember I had to sing, does she walk, does she talk, does she come complete? My homeroom angel always took me, whatever. Angel in the Centerfold.
Yeah.
Run around Sue. Hey, where do we go? Oh, that's Brown Eyed Girl. Ah, somebody's been drinking. Yeah, the good old days when we had to play our own music because we didn't have music like that. I remember my roommate had a CD player when I went to college.
That's what we had.
Yeah, I didn't have a CD player. He's like, dude, you can have a CD. My mother sends food. You this. I'm like, dude, I will. I guess I'll back you up in a fight because I got nothing to offer you. That was my college, Dan Bernetti. As a matter of fact, he's taking me to Hampton Beach Casino next month, September. He's coming up from Newtown, Pennsylvania. I just visited his parents. Yeah, Council Rock High School. Beautiful. So I went from Malden to Pennsylvania for 4 years. I blended in.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that so I went to school in upstate Vermont, and a lot of my friends were Vermont guys, and dude, those guys they're the same as those guys from Pennsylvania or even in Vermont, they're country is fucking the South, dude.
Oh, dude, I told you about it. When I'd have to go to those flag tournaments with my son in the middle of Pennsylvania, you're driving through horse and buggy Amish country.
I've seen Amish people before.
Yeah.
We like the good thing about
They like the
from
jokes are
Pennsylvania and Maine. When you go to bed at night, they look the same in the morning. Nah, what happened to all that makeup they had? Jesus, crackers. And plus, Pennsylvania goes, good women. They'll farm for you. Yeah. They will cook a russet potato. You were talking about Iowa wrestling earlier, so check this out. Pennsylvania actually has the #1 high school. Every year they have the Pennsylvania High School All-Stars versus the United States of America All-Stars. And this is the difference. So right now, if you Google, I believe Pennsylvania has won the national championship the last 3 years. Ohio State, I think, was before that, and then Iowa for a tear. See, now, if you're the #1 wrestler in Iowa, you go to Iowa or Iowa State. If you're the #1 wrestler in Oklahoma, you go to Oklahoma or Oklahoma State. If you're the #1 wrestler in Pennsylvania, you go to Penn State, Army, Navy, Lehigh, Rutgers, Old Dominion. You have so many choices. Slippery Rock, fucking Bloomsburg, Wilkes. Because we got a #1 guy. Bloomsburg got a #1 guy. So then when they do it, but Penn State, they get the fucking best.
Yeah,
Do
Penn
they?
State's,
Yeah.
Penn State. If you
State's
Google,
filthy.
I don't even know right now, but I bet you if we Google right now who won the what team won the national championship in wrestling this year, I bet you it was Penn State. Probably won the last 3 years. They're
National
fucking unbelievable animals of all crazy people.
Wrestling 2023 collegiate.
Who we
Nap
got?
champions. Wrestling.
We are getting way too far in depth with this.
Wait. Boom. All right. Wrestling Division 1 here. Carl.
Who was it?
Penn State. Yep, Carl Sanders. He was, so Penn State 2023, Penn State 2022, Iowa 2021. Let's see more.
Are there?
love it.
Is it just like all like those?
Carl
like,
Sanders was, when I wrestled, he was the champ back then. So he's at Penn State 2023, Penn State 2022, 2021 Iowa, 2020 canceled, 2019 Penn State, 2018 Penn State,
Jesus.
2017 Penn State, 2016 Penn State, 2015 Ohio State, 2014 Penn State, 2013 Penn State. I'll
Jesus.
fuck you up, fuckers. I wrestled in Penn State. I'm Pennsylvania. I'll put you in a small package. Penn State, and then Iowa. And then Minnesota, Oklahoma State. Yeah, you heard it from here first, from the Google time slot. Penn State kicks,
all right, we're gonna do these phone calls real quick.
All right.
So we get people who leave us voice messages every week. It's probably gonna mean if they usually repeat offenders,
Yeah.
and
They
it'll mean
sober?
nothing to you, Dave. But
Are they
yeah,
sober?
high. Usually,
Yeah. California sober.
usually baked.
Caliph, I like that.
I didn't think of that. That was
If anyone's listening in
was-
Malden, there's curbside alerts. It's commercial sweeping on Wednesday, June 14, 2023. Thank you, in the face.
All right. If you want to hear the voicemail, you can throw the headphones on. Let's see.
Hey, it's your man Adam Jump Down. Two things. Want to talk something that's funny but not funny? How about taking a look up into the sky, folks? Looking up at things that we don't know, but Jumptown does. And if you want to know more, follow me on Facebook or Instagram. Ask questions, find answers. Also, Doobie Wings in Jumptown, round 4, Navigation Brewery Friday night, 4 to 10. Fuck around and find out. Food Truck Fridays, Doobie Wings, the sausage is here.
That's our man Adam Jump Down. He's from
Always high.
Where's he from?
Lowell.
Okay, he
Yeah.
sounds like he has a weapon.
He,
All right, fair enough.
he is the highest person ever.
He likes to eat. He sounds
fellas?
like a big guy.
I just called to lay on a few well-known facts. A couple facts I want to give you guys that I recently learned. Number one, you can't flex your wiener without puckering your butthole. Number two, you all just tried it. The
I'm so
Bruins
glad
are
I
gonna be
had
awesome
ADD.
next year. Still hate you, Jack Edwards. Love you guys. Goodbye.
Speaking of hockey, the Golden Knights are winning 2-0 right now in the first period.
Oh boy.
Hey, what's up, boys? Just wanted to say thanks for last week. It was a great weekend for the Doobies Wings with Adam and the Denali food trucks. Just wanted to let you guys know we're coming back to Navigation on Friday from 4 to 10. Same setup, same sauces. Adam will have the truck as well. I'm sure he'll already call and give his little spiel as well. But I'm throwing another sauce or two your way. I'm doing a sesame garlic. And Jump's going to find out when he hears this because I'm adding it on now. But I'm going to do honey buffalo as well. So hope to see you guys there. Navigation, 4 to 10 on Friday. Doobie's Wings. Get there.
All right. New rule. I'm putting instant new rule. Those are our buddies.
That's Donnie White from
Denali's Donnie White. Yeah. You know Donnie?
I love Donnie.
Yeah.
I'm getting texted from my partner.
He's a
right
fucking
now.
character.
He's the best. I'm texting on podcast.
New rule
What do you got?
for Paul Doobie.
What do you got?
We don't mind a free ad for friend. 100%. Call and do it. But give me something else. I mean, the guy's a chef. Tell us how to make a fucking something else while you're doing your ad. Add value. You can't just take.
I want to hear cities. I want to hear ADD. That's why I didn't pucker my butt up.
Okay, that was,
I didn't hear everything you said. I didn't schwanz and poop
Well,
on
that was
people.
Lowell, Winthrop, East Boston, and where's Doobie from? Bill Ricker?
Originally
Oh,
Somerville.
Originally
And then he
Somerville.
went to Somerville with trees and Bill Ricker.
Yeah. You wonder why we can't get any real fucking, we can't get any real listeners to the show. I mean, who do we got calling in? Bill Ricker, Lowell,
That That was tough. It was tough to listen to. I'm going, these are your friends? They're fucking,
yeah.
They're hurt. They're getting your show canceled.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. That's the other thing. So, so all right. So you're giving them the advice, right? Of this, stay
Yeah.
on topic. You know, we got the first part, right? When you like have a new comic that you like you meet a kid, you're like, I like this kid. He's a good kid. You know what I mean? Like he's finding his way. You've already been doing it for a long time,
Yeah.
right? Like, because here's the thing, right? It's like if you want to be a comic, right? First of all, you got to get up all the time, right? Like at the beginning, I would assume, right? Like you got to be working a lot, or like
It
at least
is-
getting out there.
You know, it is not like riding a bike. It's there's nothing better than going to do Vegas for 14 shows because I feel like my act is tight as shit right
Yeah.
now. But when you're not doing it, and when you get off your first time,
Yeah.
you're gonna critique yourself. I wish I did this. I wish I did it.
Just like
I wish
anything else.
Just like anything else. And eventually, when it becomes second nature to you, you're not going to have to worry about it. So I always tell this advice, too. Don Gavin gave me this advice, the godfather of Boston comedy. What's your persona? It usually takes comedians up to 7 years to find out what the persona is. And it always turns out to be you're the same person that you are off stage, on stage.
Right.
You can't change. You can exaggerate it.
Yep.
Like I'm Russo.
Yeah.
I'm the same guy on stage.
Right.
You know? Fucking
Yeah.
ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, because I've watched your stuff, like look the clips that are on YouTube and on your site. And
Am I the
you're
same person right
yeah,
now?
you're no different than
Good.
yeah.
Good. I'm being me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But you know what? Sometimes I don't like me. But sometimes I love myself more than once a day.
Oh, by the way, you're gonna be at Mix, right?
Mix 36. Oh, yeah. With the Chamber of Commerce.
Thursday.
That's Thursday, 7 o'clock. We got me, Mark Riley, bud,
good
and
dude.
Jimmy Colleton. 7 p.m. show. You guys are more than welcome to come. It's the Chamber of Commerce in Malden. And, yeah, we're raising... and we haven't done it because of the COVID thing. So now we're...
Maybe I can
back
save
up.
that my Mark Riley story for the Patreon, dude, because it's
So
hilarious.
I noticed that because I was obviously, like I said, I do my fucking research,
Yeah, man.
right? That's what I do.
I'm not surprised.
I have a fucking guest on. We're fucking like coming to dinner. I want to know,
Yeah.
Anyway, so I said, so it's my wife's last day of school on Thursday. She's not a child, but she is a teacher.
Teacher, okay.
So I was like, hey, what are we doing on Thursday? I'm like, she's like, these teachers might want to go out, but I'm like, all right, well, I'm like, we usually go to 621 every fucking Friday. We go to
621 is
621.
great pizza.
So I go, hey, Thursday, I go 621. I go in. You know, the guy we have on the show tonight, Russo, is fucking hilarious. I go, he's having a show right next door at Mix 360. She's
With
like,
Riley.
I'm in.
It's awesome.
She's like,
this
I'm
Thursday?
in. So I think I'm gonna go.
7 o'clock, yeah.
I think me and Mag's gonna go. So the only difference is if she goes out for Mexican right after school.
Yeah.
I mean, she's
You'll
drunk.
get lucky.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. And yeah, no,
Tequila.
Margarita!
Did she go to Three Amigos?
yeah, no,
fucking
Lindo
love Three
downtown.
Amigos.
Because I live at the corner. That's the corner of my street.
And so, anyways, I think we're gonna come to the show. I can't fucking wait.
Okay, so
I'm
we know
psyched.
we'll have to give you a plug, and we'll have to make sure that they pat you down, being from
Well,
Melrose.
yeah, of course. Yeah, it's tough. as it
What are you
gets,
trying
know
to
what I mean?
smuggle in here, kid?
What are you trying to get a
Are you trying to
perfect credit
Are
score,
you trying to
dude?
bring brains in here? Are you trying to bring car insurance?
Keep your caddy outside.
So do you do like when you're? So do you have specific stuff you do for like different crowds, right? So like,
Yeah.
like if you have to do something that you're like, all right, this has got to be clean or cleanish.
Yeah, no,
right?
you know what? So if it has to be cleanish, I start off this way. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Dave, your host. I've been doing 20 years. I go today. I figure I do some clean jokes, some dirty jokes, some guy jokes, some girl jokes. So if I do a joke you don't like, you know what that means? Wasn't for you. Everyone gets sensitive. So there's different age groups, different people here. So I have to different sense of humor. So I have to switch around a little bit. So. Don't blame me because I'm a guy. I just do that stuff. But if you got to be clean, I mean, you really try to just earn the trust and go. I'm professional enough that I can feel a vibe in an audience that I'm
Sure.
not going to make them uncomfortable. I like talking about stuff that happens to you. It's the most fun stuff because I did just get back from Vegas and I did get hit on by a prostitute, but I'm like totally blonde that I didn't realize because she said to me, she goes, "That's what company? No, what the fuck was the word?" Companionship? It was like some stupid word that you wouldn't like. I wouldn't say, "Hey, young lady,
Yeah.
you like company tonight?"
Yeah,
Who the
yeah.
fuck was? What are you gonna put me in a trunk? Fucking, you know what I mean? So she said, company. I was like, in my head, I'm like, Three's Company, but I'm going, but I like company, and I realized, and I'm like, no, thank you, and then, whatever. And so, like, about 5 seconds later, I started talking to another guy.
Yeah.
So for a split second, I got like jealous. I was like, what the fuck? He gave me the opportunity. I said no, and you left right away. I don't know. I thought it was funnier in Vegas. Maybe not. You know? Like a prostitute hits on me, I say no, and then I see him talking to another guy, I get jealous. What the fuck? Hey. And this is you try to write about experiences that you have. Like that happened to me.
Yeah.
Like I was like, no, respect. I don't care if she's a woman of the night. I really just thought she'd hit on me because I smelled nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And anyways. But other stuff like the whole marijuana, the whole the dispensaries.
Yeah.
Here's a joke that I wrote that because it's a real experience. Like I'll get recognized if I go in a dispensary. You know, it's like my hometown. I get recognized. Yeah. And it's kind of, I feel like that same embarrassment like back in the 90s when I would rent a porno and get recognized. I know I'd get you on one of these fucking jokes. I still like the prostitute joke better. She said, you want a company? I'm like, company? Oh, hey. No, I'm good, thank you. Anyways, yeah, you got to write a joke every single day. Or rewrite jokes. Like I rewrote the joke about the women, I think it's more special women. Every time I've ever, it sucked my first time. Every guy, like, the fucking greatest day of my life. That was every day of my life, you know?
Absolutely.
Have you ever heard of any guy having a bad time the first time having sex?
No.
No, I don't think I have. No.
Never.
We've evolved, us men, haven't we? It was beautiful.
But so I meant to ask you this earlier when you were talking about it, but
I went 4 times.
throwing up bird numbers.
yeah.
I was an all-star back in the day.
I saw
wanted
you
to get callbacks.
I saw you earlier this year at Giggles with it was from Alden Papuana. It was a
Okay.
Dude, it was-
yes,
it was awesome. It was awesome.
yes.
And this was actually my first time, like,
Really?
after you guys went up, and I'm bringing this up for a reason, but after
Okay.
you guys went up, I had to do the raffles. And the dude from Giggles said to me, do you do comedy? And I said, I don't. He goes, you should. And my head fucking exploded. But the reason I bring this up,
Was he hitting on you? Was he,
he could have.
That's my favorite joke of the night.
He could
was
have.
he like, listen, this guy, I need an electrician at my place.
He could have. He could have. But, dude, I had.
Did I leave? Did I not stay there that
Oh,
night?
you had somewhere else to go. But weirdly enough, Mark Riley was like down the street doing something. He ended up there that
Okay.
night. He didn't
Yeah, we
perform
do
that
it.
night.
Okay.
But you know who did? And is totally opposite you on stage, and he killed it? Adi Januario.
Sure, the pharmacist.
Dude,
Yeah.
legitimately his 9 to 5 is he is a pharmacist. And his whole bit is his stories
About,
are hilarious.
medication.
Hilarious. And you want to talk about two opposite ends of the spectrum on the comedy. Dave's
And
all over the
politics.
place. He's breakdancing.
Yeah.
He's doing the De Niro. And Adi just kind of stands there and talks, dude.
Yeah.
And it's fucking hilarious. It's
know-
monotone. He doesn't fucking move at all, really.
Yeah. It's one of those things where those two type of styles of comedy will work. You wouldn't have, like, me and Riley are kind of the same.
Yeah.
I talked to him today. I go, Rouse, I'm going to have you host. I'll have whatchamacallit feature, and I'll fucking headline it or the other way because I don't want to follow him.
Yeah, you got to break it up. Yeah,
You got to break it up.
Yeah.
And because, and plus he's good looking. He's such a dick. I'm only saying that, Mark, because I can take you. How's that sound? No,
You know what?
anyways, yeah, he'll be there. He'll be there too.
That's awesome.
We'll talk about that. But
I did a best man speech at this wedding, my buddy, and afterwards, this guy who was like a kind of a Melrose basketball legend. He was at one point was a coach.
Caucasian.
So yes,
Just wanted to make sure.
Come on. I mean, yeah. No,
Or
actually,
was
the real
was he the
legends
guy?
weren't. Yeah.
Was he the guy?
Yeah. So to your point about was he trying to fuck you, Danny?
Yeah.
So afterwards, he comes up to me. He's like, "Hey, dude, you should be a stand-up comic." And I'm like, yeah, I don't know. It's pretty easy to rag on my best man, so I don't think you have to be a stand-up comic to do that. And he's like, I got a bit. Like he was like, can I try it out on you? And I'm like, and
Did you listen to him?
his wife's there, and by the way, I idolized this guy growing up, right? I was like,
Oh, this is the basketball coach.
this is the basketball. I
He's about to
idolized
tell you
this
a dirty, filthy fucking joke
no,
right now.
not even. I idolized this fucking dude growing up.
Right.
Like I was like, this guy's the fucking man, and he was kind of fucking like a hard nosed motherfucker, like kind of a badass player, and like you don't want to fuck with this kid. And here he is, like, and he's like clears his throat, and he's like, all right, there's this. I'm not using names. He's like, there's this Chinese food restaurant up by me in New Hampshire. He's like, and I call his wife to do the impression. He does an impression of like an Asian
Chinese guy?
Yeah. Like,
Well,
and
you
I'm
want
like,
those- pick up order.
but he's just doing like an Asian Chinese food restaurant impersonation. And I'm like, this is This is a fucking bit? Like, this is, like, so to your point, be like, he's like, you should be a stand-up? I'm like, well, you obviously don't know what's
Right.
funny. Because you think fucking...
you really can't do Asian.
Asians get mad.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Asians don't give a fuck.
Okay,
It's white
no,
people
no.
that get mad.
Let me ask you
You're
this question.
absolutely right.
So I had, like, you were saying, like, real life experiences, right? So the funniest story I've ever told on this podcast, I got the most fucking play of all time, it has to do with a guy who was my doctor who was Indian. So when I tell the story, I have to tell it with
An
his
Indian
accent,
accent,
right?
sure.
And I'm not being, this guy's a very successful guy and he's fucking awesome. And he actually solved problems for me. Like, basically, just the story is I thought I was dying of cancer.
Okay.
I go there. And I had no health insurance. I'm like a fucking riddled from head to toe. I got no money to my name. I had a good job. I didn't have one now. I was in between health insurance. I'm like, I'm fucking dying. He's like, $50, you could see me. And he was my old doctor. He's a great guy. And then he goes, he puts me up at the table. I'm like, having all this fucking pain down here. And he's like feeling around. And I'm like, and he's like, come, can I do it? I'm not sure to do it. He's like, come sit down. And I'm like, I sit down in front of him. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, all right, I know. Like,
Why did you ask another white guy if he could do the?
Because I just, whatever.
accent?
Like, well, I mean.
Can I be offensive?
Yeah. So
Yes,
he
you
looks at me
can.
and he goes,
You've got gas.
he goes, maybe you're about too tight. And I go, what? And he goes,
Your belt's
and maybe
too
you're
tight.
about too tight. Well, sometimes he goes, your pants, and then you gain weight. He goes, and then the belt too tight, and it put pressure on abdomen. And your belt's probably too tight. And I'm like, I thought I had fucking cervical cancer, even though I don't have cervix, but I thought I was dying. And he's like, fucking, maybe your belt's too tight. Now, my question is it offensive to do an impression of somebody that actually sounded like that and said that?
Well, it is, I guess, now.
That's how fucking Shane.
But I don't think that's...
Shane Gillis got
This guy's
fucking
a
canceled.
doctor, by the way. I'm not like,
Shane Gillis.
He's
Why do I know him?
because he's the man right now. No relation as of now.
Okay, but back to that. Is that...
No, but I think I worked with Shane in the
He's from
Yeah,
he's
he's
the
from
from-
Shane Moss.
Shane from Pennsylvania. He went to Army, played
Shane
football at Army.
Gillis
Yeah,
played football.
at Army.
He's a comedian.
Oh yeah, has a YouTube fucking special out.
Maybe I'm sorry, Shane. I thought I'm thinking of somebody else. I think I know another Shane Gillis. Anyways, hey, if you're a football player from Army, I'll look for you. I wrestle
But is
against
that
Army.
offensive if you're like... If,
You know what?
I mean, you could... All right, let's put it this way. You would never do it, right? Because
No, I
obviously...
have. I have an impression of my doctor, Dr. Shah, Charlie Shah. I thought that's what you were talking about.
Oh, no.
My cholesterol, I was like, okay, so Italians die two ways, heart disease or the climax of a Scorsese movie. My cholesterol is like 710. Is that good? It's 200 points higher than my credit score. And Gillis's SAT scores. How's that, right? But my doctor's from India, Dr. Shah. Sorry. And I remember I just broke some wood. I just remember her telling me that she left me a message on my answer machine like 12 years ago. Like, see if I can do the voice for you.
That's going to crush mine. I love it.
No, this is the bit. She's like, Debbie! Dr. Shah, your cholesterol's very, very bad. You should be dead. Give me a call.
No way, that was your voicemail.
Debbie! Are you dead? Give me a call. 718-686-4643. Better yet, look outside the window. I'll be in the bushes with a bow and arrow. I'm teasing, David. I'm not that type of Indian. That was the fucking bit that I've done since fucking 19 fucking for years. And now all of a sudden I go, really? Dr. Shah, I love that shit. Because Dr. Shah was like, I heard you were talking about me on stage. How am I doing? I said, you're doing great. You're very funny. You know, and now she's retired. She moved. Actually, I don't want to say retired. She moved because her son went to college, some prestigious college, and she went to go move closer to her son. I mean, that's the relationship I have with my doctor. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm doing a impression. She's probably saying to her, this fucking guy, he does an impression of me. Spot on, the motherfucker. You know what I mean? She's very funny. Because people would come from her office to come see me because she's very well loved and of course. It's like,
I love how I didn't know you had an Indian bit. He's like, are you fucking with me right now?
Yeah,
Like,
I was like,
it's my doctor bit. The Indian bit.
Dr. Shah. Your cholesterol is very, very bad.
This guy was the happiest doctor I've ever had. I loved him. And by the way, every time I thought I was dying, he was like, figure it out. And then you'd go home and you'd be fine after like a week. He was right. Like, because I think in India, like, they're like, yeah, give it a week or two.
We've
You
got
know what I mean?
8 billion people. None of us die.
They don't. They just come to
We've got
Walden.
many men. Oh, gosh.
But I mean, obviously, it's like sensitive subject now. But like, I still think like it's.
I guess, yeah. I'm probably gonna get canceled for doing this podcast tomorrow. So I just said,
Not enough people listening.
Dr.
Well, I mean,
I do an English accent. And when I go, you're from England? No kidding, I'm from New England.
yeah, by the way,
If I could be-
here's the other thing. Why is that not fuck? You know what I mean? Like,
Today we're going to pull a 70-ton bus up a 90-degree vertical course. Let's see how they do. That's Magnus Vern Magnuson. That's the world's strongest men competition.
I remember him.
Yeah.
what are the other impressions you do?
I usually do a lot of physical. I'll do like pantomime stuff.
Yeah.
Pantomime. I'll do dance, De Niro.
Yeah.
Picking up girls in a dance club, like Janet Jackson. How you doing? Night. I'll do a little dancing. The world's strongest men competition's physical. I'll do floating.
Running away in Harlem.
Yeah, running away. I mean, you know what? I was told, like, it's a shame, man. Early on, people thought, like, because I did physical comedy, they would diss me. Oh, he's not a good writer, not a good writer. So I wrote a bunch of good shit. And now I'm getting back to the physical shit because, you know what? If you can't do what
Nobody
I
else
do,
can fucking do it.
thank you.
That's
And
what I'm saying.
That's why they were haters and I didn't know it, dude. I made some mistakes.
100%, dude.
Yeah.
I've seen the shit. Dude, whenever you drop one of your Instagrams and you do the fucking breakdance, I'm like, dude. And by the way, I love the fact that
Do you
it's
see
not
the
just- it's not
waterbed
a
bit?
little- What's that?
Have you seen the waterbed bit yet?
No.
Okay. So in 2000, I did the 25th anniversary of San Francisco International Comedy Festival. I'd only been doing comedy 2.5, 3 years. Somehow I'm in the finals, a month-long competition, 5 of us, and I'm on TV. And I do a bit. I made the mistake of walking in on my 375-pound roommate, not a muscular guy, kind of puffy, while he was in the process of making love with his 98-pound girlfriend on a waterbed. What I saw, no human eye should ever have to see again. I'm going to give you my impression of what I witnessed on the waterbed, and I'll play the part of the woman. And you remember the worm and breakdance?
Yeah,
I would just do, I would do the worm. I'm like, and it's a video I have on Instagram, and it's like that shit is 23 fucking years old, and people, you know, it's just, you know, nobody's ever seen that shit.
Well,
in
because
comedy.
here's the thing, though. Like you were saying, the physical stuff. It's like, isn't that
Jim
like
Carrey's the best though.
Oh, he's
my God.
unbelievable.
Yeah, he's the
Unreal.
best. He's the champ.
unreal, unfucking real?
Steve Martin did physical comedy, and that's why I would say to people like early on, people like, "Oh, you're not a writer." I'm like, wait a minute, I write every day. Fuck off.
Yeah.
And number two, just because I can do this physical shit doesn't. So I'm starting to bring
Just
it
'cause
back.
you can't
in.
do it.
I know.
That's all.
Well, that's why I think Stephen Wright likes me. So I say that once again, name dropping thing. But Stephen Wright actually mentioned on a radio show they liked me, and somebody sent me the clip. He goes, "Yeah, that guy Dave Russo makes me laugh." And I think it's because, and Kevin Knox said too, rest in soul. Kevin Knox passed away in 2009, one of the champs, the Wild Irishman. And Knoxy, and he liked Knoxy too. And I think because he couldn't do what we do.
Yeah.
Like Knoxy was this wild. I'm an Irishman. I've got a small penis, but a huge liver. Sometimes I have sex with my liver so hard. Woo! Kevin Knox was the best. And I remember him telling me, Stephen Wright loves me. He laughs all the time. You know why? Because he can't do what I fucking do. Just like I can't do it. And I used to say, maybe that's why he likes me, because I'm jumping around like a fucking crazy person. And Stephen Wright heartbeat is like fucking once every 2.5 minutes. Boom.
I definitely think that because I am much more likely
Like
to
shit
love,
that you know, yeah, well, you-
like with music. Like if I can't sing it, I love it even more. I'm like,
yeah.
oh fuck, that's fucking crazy. Like I can't do that.
Let me ask you this now. So what's your favorite band of all time?
Brendan's, you hear that? That's Brendan's dick just got fucking coming through the.
you know
No, it's
what?
hard.
You
I would
have
say
a-
like if you were like, oh, you can only listen to one thing for the rest of your life, like no questions asked. I would have to go as an artist, Springsteen.
Okay.
He's a
So
Springsteen guy.
all right. Really? I did a thing with Springsteen. Do you know that? Did you
Yeah,
Google that one? Did you see that one?
No, I didn't see that one.
You
But
see the video I did for Springsteen?
He just put it up like not so long ago.
really?
Did you see?
I haven't seen it yet.
So my favorite is the Foo Fighters, and that hasn't. It just be and I don't know what it is about the. I fucking love the Foo
I think
Fighters.
they're awesome.
I do like Bruce Springsteen, but I want to show you this video. So you're gonna fucking think this is wild. Really?
You just put it out like you've put it out a couple times,
I ended up
but
doing
you
a
just put it
show.
out like a couple days
I
ago.
don't know why I don't have this like right at my fingertips.
Yeah, that's kind of a big deal. I'd have that as my home screen.
It's so in 2016 I was doing a show Till Duty Is Done, and Bruce Springsteen's son was getting an award for a documentary he did. So Bruce Springsteen showed up, and I happened to be the entertainment, and he was on the dais. There it is, and he was on the dais. So let's see what we got.
On the road with Tony Orlando and Bruce Springsteen. Do we
Oh, sick.
Hysterical. You heard it right there. The champ's right there. I'm Russo. I'm on the road. I mean,
That's sick.
Springsteen loved me.
Yeah.
He fucking loved me. And you know what the weird thing is? They said no cameras, no nothing.
Yep.
But I'm from Malden.
Yeah, yeah.
And I pulled out the selfie stick, and my buddy Picos, I was like, look at fucking, and they fucking hopped on. Tony Lano was the champ, and Bruce was the champ, but it ended up, I was hosting, I didn't know that, they were on the dais, dude. I was on the stage, they were behind me, and the president of the fucking Mohegan Sun with his Brennan, with his, hat.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about, yeah.
I'm like, behind me, Tony Orlando. But I remember, this is how I broke the ice. I said, people asked me if I want to do a joke about Bruce Springsteen. And I said, probably not. And they said, why not? I go, well, the guy's from Jersey. I'm pretty sure he's got a weapon. And that was the joke, and then that broke the ice.
Yeah, I bet he loved it.
It was good for
I
me.
bet he fucking loved it.
It went well.
Yeah.
Went well. Because
Yeah.
you know what? His politics on there, like, it was Till Duty Was Done was a bunch of, it was a philanthropist that was flying children from this part of the country, that part of the country, this part of the country, and 4 different planes or whatever type of planes of fallen heroes' children. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So Till Duty Is Done.
Yep.
So they die in the line of duty. So they're kids. So these philanthropists find these people out, and so this is why I'm a bad business person. They go, hey, we want to hire you to do this thing at Mohegan Sun. How much do you charge? And I go, well, so I go, I want to get my friends. So I got Mike McCarthy, my best friend from Medford, Pete Costello, my best friend, and this guy Dave, because I knew Dave's brother was in the military. And I go, we need 4 rooms. That's what I charged him.
You were
4
like
rooms.
Kramer on
4
fucking
rooms.
with the coffee.
Yeah, I have no 4
Lifetime
rooms.
coffee.
But he ended up being there. But it was a wild thing because he kind of, I can tell he liked me, and he's like the legend.
Well, I think he's just like a regular guy. Like I know, like I mean, you can't be a regular guy and be like that. I've told this story.
He did everything. I'm sorry to interrupt you. He did everything you were supposed to do. They said your son. He goes, hey man, my son's getting the war. I'm just a proud dad. Just gonna be here. Like leave me the fuck alone.
Yeah.
And everyone did.
Yeah.
And so your story. I interrupt you on that, but you're right. He was just a regular dude. He said all the right answers. It's like a spectator. Oh, he's saying all the right answers.
Yeah.
You should tell Dave about.
Oh yeah, so I've told the story on the podcast before. So if you've heard this, you can
It's
fast forward it. But my
incredible.
buddy I went to college with, you'd never know the kid came from money. I didn't know he had money. I had no idea. He just was like a regular guy. He drove a Honda Accord, whatever. But he's from Chappaqua, New York. Now, back then, I didn't know what the fuck Chappaqua might as well with Worcester. I had no idea what the fuck it was.
Right.
It's one of the richest areas in fucking New York. So his mother he told me, he's like, we played music together, and he tells me, he's like, my mother's living in like a kind of a big time assisted living facility, basically your own fucking townhouse, next to Bruce Springsteen's mother, and Bruce Springsteen's mother now has Alzheimer's, dementia. And so he goes, Bruce, she could only remember him by his music. So he goes, on Sundays, he pulls up in his Porsche with an acoustic guitar, and he goes into her apartment, and he plays for 2 hours. It just plays music for her.
Dude, how do you not love that?
Fucking nobody knows about it. Nobody knows anything. He goes, he texted me, doesn't that fucking give you the chills?
Yeah.
And he goes, dude, and he goes, he saw him like a couple months ago. He's like, I was home visiting his mother. And he's like, I saw him next to his Porsche. He goes, what do you think I did? I go, you walked right by him and you maybe fucking head nodded him. He says, fucking pay your respect. Let the man have his fucking time. To visit his mother.
So did he head on him?
Yeah, he was just like, hey, what's up? Yeah, exactly. But like, dude,
Yeah, you're
that's
not going to be like,
I
hey,
by the way,
cover me.
I'll tell you this, I've gone down history. When I told my wife that story, I had chills, right? I tell my wife that story. She's like, well, I think that's what any good son would do. And I'm like, fucking Bruce Springsteen. He can do whatever he wants on
You know
Sundays.
what?
Like,
how about this? He can hire somebody to press a button,
Right.
play that music on a fucking
Exactly.
ukulele.
Yeah, 100%.
I just triggered something in my head that was fuck. I forgot it again. No, you were talking about I know that's exactly no, but the when you said about him giving the high like the eye tap, Ray Bork did that to me, and he gave me a little fucking fist pump on when I went by him. I was like, fuck yeah. We were playing a softball game, and he knew I liked him. You know, and he gave, hey, what's up, Bruce? He gave me a fist pump. Yeah, what's up? Yeah, he's. But that's like what your buddy did is very cool.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
It does give me chills.
All right, so
his
we
mother
got
still got Alzheimer's then?
Oh, yeah.
Still got the all.
far as we know.
My grandmother lived with my
That's the
family with
fucking
Alzheimer's
hardest thing. I
for,
think,
for
number
9
one,
years.
I've never, it's never affected my family, but
Well, I think it would be, in my opinion, like, the worst two things to have in that order would be
Dementia.
ALS, Alzheimer's,
Oh, yeah.
dementia. Like, that's
All right.
fucking brutal.
Yeah, I want to tell you my grandmother's story.
Yeah.
please.
So Nana Squarciati, I actually spoke about it today. When I was 10 years old, I had to go pay my newspaper route bill in Everett, next to de Blasio in Everett. Sorry to give that plug, but de Blasio's still my favorite steak and cheese, right?
Oh,
Boston Globe?
no, de Blasie's.
Oh, yeah, it was a Globe. It was a
Fellow Globe delivery
All right,
boy.
Fellow Globe.
Yeah.
So in Everett.
No shit.
Back when they had the
Yep,
$5,000
yep,
scholarship,
yep.
by the way.
So I would go over there and I would go see my grandmother, and we would watch WWF WWE wrestling.
You could say F, dude.
Yeah, it was F back then.
Yeah.
You're talking to one of the biggest fucking
And so she would
wrestling
say,
fanatics out there.
so my grandmother would say, this is 1980 and all, that Jimmy Superfly Sook is a son of a bitch. My grandmother was like 4'11", 17 pounds. And she got the Alzheimer's and she lived with us. And I was a favorite because I'd go and visit on Saturdays and we'd get a steak and cheese and watch wrestling. So it's got to be 1989.
I was 2.
Fuck. I'm going to stop saying dates.
I was 12.
I'm 19 years
I was 12.
I'm 19 years old. I'm sorry, I'm 18. Shit, 19 years old. I'm on home from break. It's summertime. It's like 90 degrees. I wake up. My grandmother is on the end of my bed with a fucking winter coat on, a winter jacket. And it's like sunny out. And I'm like, Nana, it's fucking night. Take that, take that off. And so she takes off her hat and she takes off her winter coat and she's fucking naked. I'm like, Nana, put that shit back on. and people say, why do you last long in bed? I go, well, I think of naked Nana. and I go, an extra 20 minutes right there. You're a champion. But you have to have a sense of humor with Alzheimer's. My grandmother would sing, hey, oh yeah, she would sing and change the words around, and she was dirty. She was dirty, funny dirty. Like,
Yeah.
She was like 4'10", man.
Yeah.
90 pounds, little Nana Squarciati. Nana Squarciati, who loved WWF wrestling.
Love it.
Was like, and yeah, she was a car. But anyways, the Alzheimer's thing, it skips a generation, and that's why I think I got it. I forget shit all the time. Bills, what? Oh, I'm sorry. America. I'm sorry, officer. I didn't realize. No, I have a lot of respect for the police. My grandfather was a criminal. I'm doing jokes.
All right, so you got, what else do you have coming up?
Oh, man, I have
Not that you need to sell it. I mean,
I
you
have
fucking
work.
back rooms, no problem.
What do I have coming? Okay, so this week,
Mix 360, fucking right down the street.
That's awesome.
Thursday,
Can't wait.
Mix 360, by the way, is the Chamber of Commerce. I got my 2 buddies working on this. We have like 75 years of comedy experience. I'm the most famous, but the least funny.
I'm going.
So listen to them. And then we got Friday, I'm in West Bridgewater, because I play all the fucking rooms.
Yeah.
But I'm with Hurley and Mark. I'm with Riley as well on Friday. And then Saturday, I produce a show at Skippy's on Cape Cod, which I'm not going to be there because I'm going to play hooky and go somewhere and gamble.
Cool. Where you going?
I'm going to go to the Encore.
Nice.
I'm going to the Encore after I leave this fucking place. I'm going there right now. I'm going to smoke a big fatty cigar. Hello, America. And I have the number.
Oh, Port's legal.
The number 6 and
Yeah,
4.
by the way, you're already up 2,500.
Wait. The number 10 is in my head. And number
Yeah, it
6 and
is.
4. I'm going to play 6, 4, and 10. 4 Bobby Orr, 6 my mother's favorite number, and 10 fucking 6 and 4 is 10.
And you're already up 2,500. Coming back from Vegas.
I did go.
He came here from Encore.
By the way, I did go back to Encore.
He goes from Vegas.
Let's go 2,300.
Hey,
Let's go
pilot,
50.
just drop me off right here. He doesn't even go to
You know,
fucking
like,
Logan.
I've been,
I'm going on record, by the way. I just cut off both these guys. I'm 12 years older than them. I've yet to break the seal. Both of them have gone to the bathroom 97
no, not
times.
true. You're 6 years older than me.
6. That's, by the way, 72 months. I think that's right.
Look at those numbers.
I graduated first in my class. Thank you. I was homeschooled.
Homeschooled.
I was prom king and queen. Wrote that up. I was the first prom king and queen. What was I then? You people are trying to be original now. I was way more original back. I wrote that shit up in 1999, homeschooling. Imagine that. You people were fucking 9.
I was in 6th grade at the Lincoln School, bro.
Lincoln getting
No, I
weapons,
wasn't.
getting
I was
assaulted.
graduating college.
Lincoln was that was a bad school.
I didn't go to Lincoln. I went to Cheverus, and I kind of do wish I went to Lincoln. I have to pee wicked bad.
Yeah, all right. So we're wrapping this up.
Yes.
Me and Daniel stay on for the Patreon.
Yep.
And Russo might have to leave to go to Encore and get his money.
You know what? It's 9:35 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
It's true.
I never gamble after midnight.
Okay.
I don't do it.
Yeah.
I don't do it. Nothing
Well,
good
you go do
happens
your
after
thing.
midnight.
All right, listen, we really appreciate having you.
My pleasure.
We would love to have you again.
Yeah.
I'm going to see this cat on Thursday night.
I'm going to do everything
You
I
guys
can.
have my number.
21.
Are you going? Are you coming?
I'm
So
absolutely
text me
gonna-
on the way in, and we'll get you a 2-for-1 special. It's a mall and chamber of commerce. It's business. We can't give shit away for free. We have to charge. We have to make a little.
No,
bit.
no.
We
I
have to
pay
make a
my
little
way.
bit
I
of
pay
piece.
my way. I pay my way. I pay my way. Hey,
We'll get free
Hey,
beers,
you
though.
do this for free? I'm paying. I'm fucking
Wait
paying.
a minute. Wait a minute. What do you mean? We're
I
not getting per
pay.
diem.
Hey, you know what? Take my red card with you. I got 30 in free play.
Get the fuck to you, really. You know what? Where is my red card? Oh, it's
Is that like the
it's on
Pequot hat?
suspension.
Oh, yeah, they
It's
print-
on
Wampa cat?
timeout.
They
It's on
print it to you.
timeout.
They print it for you on demand. Don't worry about it.
That's
They give you a
awesome.
new one. All right. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.